lex lata, pulvis et umbra cinis, ultra tum praesidium, consumimur igni plebis victis, cantus immortal regnum, in aeterna prosse, infinitum, luce resurrectum, sanctus infuriate malis, cruce prosse mortis, excrucio natura fieri mortis, gladius in evertitum, gloria in excruciatis, radio vera sentimenti, termino ab infuriate, morte hosanna, prosse fortuna, mister morte sanct perde. Are we connected? It says dropped frames detected, and it says excellent connection. Not sure if we're actually connected. Full disclosure, if the stream goes down unexpectedly, it's a thunderstorm right now. Just putting that out there. If not, we'll come back later. But welcome. It's going to be a big stream. We're going over the cards from the Phantom Darkness Booster Set, a particular Shonen Jump Championship promo card, the promo cards for the Duelist Pack Collectible 10s, the Special Edition promo cards for the Phantom Darkness, another set of promo 10s, cards introduced by the Structure Deck Dark Emperor, some Jump promos, and finally we're finishing off with another Champion Pack. We're up to 6. Let's get right to it. Oh. Now let's get right to it. First card, secret rare for the set, is Dark Greffer. Dark attribute, level 4. Warrior, effect, you can special summon this card from your hand by discarding one level 5 or higher dark monster. Once per turn, you can discard one dark monster, send one dark monster from your hit deck to your graveyard. 1700 attack, 1500 defense. So, Dark Greffer is fantastic. If you don't know, the Phantom Darkness is themed around a whole bunch of dark monsters and dark counterparts, and it is, in my opinion, a power spike comparable in strength to when Cyber Dragon was released. It is dark domination for this set. Yeah, Dark Greffer is a great herald for what it is. Easily worth considering today. It has an inherent special summon condition, which can help load up your graveyard, especially good with cards that you want in your graveyard anyway, either for reanimation or for their own effect, like Malicious and Dark Greffer on their own board presence extension. Then the second effect, this is Foolish Burial, but it's limited to dark monsters, and it does cost you a resource. I guess Foolish Burial does cost you a resource, but still, the amount of graveyard setup that you can do with Dark Greffer is fantastic. It's also a Rota target, so it's a little bit splashable. Easily one of the reasons why generic Dark would just be super powerful every now and then. I like the card a lot. Next up, we have Gladiator Beast Andal. Stick with me. Earth attribute, level 4, Beast Warrior. This one-eyed warrior bear is an aggressive hunter that strikes down its prey with its powerful swipes of its claws. No one can bear the brunt of his tremendously fast and heavy blows. 1900 attack, 1500 defense. So we talked about Gladiator Beasts, debuted in Gladiator's Assault. This is a Gladiator Beast in name, but not effect. So you can tag into him, but then he doesn't tag back out. There are some niche reasons to play Andal, like if you want to run Rescue Rabbit in the deck, that's fair. But it is baffling. Some of the support is just so funny. I don't even know if it's acceptable in Archetype. Like, no one ever played Andal. It just doesn't function with the rest of the deck. But I think it's really funny. We'll say it's a gimmick in Archetype. Next up, Atlantean Pikeman. Whoa, Atlantean sighting. We're so far away from mermales, but I guess this is sort of our first Atlantean card. We had Abyss Soldier, so Mermail, Abyss, Atlantean. We got it. Water attribute, level 2, Sea Serpent. The great ocean lord who reigns over the depths is served by these lancers. Deep-sea creatures exist in fear of facing the stream of attacks their lances are capable of. 1400 attack, 0 defense. That is ridiculous. Ooh. I think Andal is played in modern Glads because one of the new cards special summons another Glad Beast from deck if a Glad Beast is summoned from deck, which is really easy with unexpected die. Oh. So you do have a reason to play Andal. It's still a Garnet, but at least it's useful. I forgot about unexpected die. I don't know if that puts it above gimmick, though. So this is not in the game yet. I recognize that. But when Deep Sea Diva comes out, you know, you could play Atlantean Pikeman with her. I don't know why this card is... It seems so useful. It's got so much attack on a level 2. And it's water. I just don't think you use it for anything. Keep it here for now. And of course, Rescue Rabbit, Enchanting Fitting Room, Unexpected Die. There are reasons that you could play Atlantean Pikeman in your Atlantean Mermail deck. Or your Poseidra deck, but I think it's a goofy card. Next up, first dark counterpart. I guess second dark counterpart, we got Dark Greffer. Rainbow Dark Dragon. Dark attribute, level 10, dragon, effect. Archetype inclusion text. This card is always treated as an ultimate crystal card. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned from your hand by banishing 7 dark monsters with different names from your graveyard. You can banish all other dark monsters from the field and graveyard. This card gains 500 attack for each card banished this way. Why would you want to do that? This is a big boss monster. It's all in my opinion. We get Evil Dragon Anata at some point, and I think Rainbow Dragon is similar to that, except Anata's way more flexible and pops cards during the end phase. Rainbow Dark Dragon can just attack for big damage, and you can banish a whole bunch of cards and then attack for even bigger damage. This is a big number card more than anything. I think Pikeman was the strongest level 2 for a really long time and still the highest attack level 2 water monster. I believe he is, yeah. Anyway, where does big number go? Right here? It's your all-in finisher because you gotta banish 7 different monsters. It's really hard to get out. Well, sort of really hard to get out. It's a lot easier with link monsters because you can just keep link climbing or synchro climbing. I don't know. Does your deck need a finisher? Rainbow Dark Dragon? It also does function with some of the other Rainbow dragon support, which is interesting. And it's fusion material. I don't think it's getting above gimmick, but maybe not unplayable. Next up, Samsara Lotus. Dark attribute, level 1, plant, effect. During your end phase, if you control no spell or trap cards, you can special summon this card from your graveyard in face-up attack position. This card's controller takes 1000 damage during each of their standby phases. 0 attack, 0 defense. I think when you read Samsara Lotus, your mind is going to, oh, this is like Treeborn Frog. The problem with Treeborn Frog, which was exploited, but not to great effect in my opinion, was that it's not once per turn. Samsara Lotus is not once per turn. Give the Samsara Lotus hard once per turn, and I think you'd fix it, to be honest. This card was a problem for a time because it facilitated an FTK, because you could just keep special summoning it back during your end phase and popping it over and over again with Topologic Dragon. We talk about Genesis yet? What is Genesis? You can't even pull off the combo anymore. Too many of the pieces have been banned, but I guess it's a design mistake. It's funny too. This card, Samsara Lotus, I guess because it's so close to Yubel, gets a Yubel branded variant in the future, which is cool. It reads like it's not particularly good though. Hello, Rain McKnight. Next up, its counterpart. It sort of feels like these cards are slightly ahead of their time. Like when you think of Plant Synchro, that's in like Crossroads of Chaos, I want to say, which is 3 sets from now. It's weird that Samsara Lotus and Regenerating Rose and even Lonefire Blossom came out a little bit before that, and Gigaplant. Anyway, Regenerating Rose, Dark Attribute, level 7, plant, effect. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 2 Regenerating Rose tokens. Plant type, Dark, level 3, 1200 attack, 1200 defense. The Rose has 0 attack, 1500 defense. Okay, couple points. 1, you can bring it out with the Lonefire Blossom. I don't think this is the best use of your Lonefire Blossom. 2, you could bring it out with Mystic Tomato, and you actually do have some synergy. They're both dark plants. But this isn't that impactful of an effect, and it only works when it's destroyed by battle. And this card is super bricky when you hard draw it. I think it goes into very bad. Oh, if you have extra time after the stream tonight, we gotta get your thoughts. The TCG stream has announced a new format. They're going all in on supporting. Ooh, new format. Good evening, Jay Andrews. Okay, we might look that up in real time because I don't know about this. Back to the mainstream. Next up, Yubel. I have some personal bias when it comes to Yubel. Yubel is one of my favorite characters in all of animation. Like, Yubel is just fantastic. For one thing, Yubel is the Rebus, and it was hiding in plain sight the whole time. But 2, I just really like Yubel in the anime. And if you don't know, I'm not sure if it's worth considering today, but Yubel was not just tier 1. It was crazy meta threat. I haven't seen it top lately, but I guess here is probably the most appropriate. Yubel is crazy because of Spirit of Yubel and Nightmare Pain and some of the other broken Yubel specific support. It's a legacy support elevating what would otherwise be an old card into the spotlight. I didn't even tell you what it does, though. Dark Attribute, level 10, Fiend effect, cannot be destroyed by battle. You take no battle damage from battles involving this card. Before damage calculation, if this face-up attack position card is targeted for an attack, inflict damage to your opponent equal to that attacking monster's attack. Nice! You get Magic Cylinder. Once per turn, during your end phase, tribute one other monster or destroy this card. When this card is destroyed, except by its own effect, its owner can special summon one Yubel Terror Incarnate from their hand, deck, or graveyard. And let's go ahead and jump into the other two Yubel cards. Next up is Terror Incarnate. Dark Attribute. I believe they're still level 10. This might be 11. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, level 11. Fiend effect. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned by Yubel. Can't be destroyed by battle. You take no battle damage from battles involving this card. Before damage calculation, if this face-up attack position card is targeted for an attack, inflict damage to your opponent equal to that attacking monster's attack. Once per turn, during your end phase, destroy all other monsters on the field. That's pretty good. When this face-up card leaves the field, so not just destroyed, you can special summon one Yubel Ultimate Nightmare from your hand, deck, or graveyard. So, I believe you play all three in the dedicated Yubel decks. Finally, we have Yubel Ultimate Nightmare. Dark Attribute, level 12. Fiend effect, cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned by Yubel Terror Incarnate. Cannot be destroyed by battle. You take no battle damage from battles involving this card. At the end of the damage step, if this face-up attack position card battled an opponent's monster, inflict damage equal to that monster's attack to your opponent. Also destroy that monster. 0 attack, 0 defense. I feel like Ultimate Nightmare is over-designed. In my opinion, there's just way too much detail going on. You got like eyes on your kneecaps. You got snakes coming out of your shoulders, but not just snakes. The snakes have faces on top of their heads. You got a giant face in the middle of your torso, and it's got a third eye. It's just too much going on for me. It feels like a deviant art drawing, except it got an actual card. Also, there's too much red in the background for me. Can't mess up classic Yubel. I think Ultimate Nightmare was usually cut because it doesn't float unlike the other forms. Yeah. The artist finished the card, then kept going. Oh, yeah. We're just going to say it's acceptable, but I don't think you want to actually play it. Maybe it's a one-of in your deck, like a Bricky card, like a Garnet. But I'm not putting it any higher. It is interesting. Ultimate Nightmare gives original character don't steal vibes. It's just edgy for the sake of being edgy. Yubel was perfect. Why'd you have to go further? I guess the middle one, the Terror Incarnate, I guess this one's okay. Next up, Armored Cyburn. Sideburns? Wind Attribute, level 4. Machine, Union, Effect. Once per turn, you can either target one Cyber Dragon you control, or one fusion monster you control that lists Cyber Dragon as fusion material. Equip this card to that target. Or, unequip this card and special summon it. Once per turn, while equipped to a monster by this effect, you can target one face-up monster on the field. The equipped monster loses exactly 1000 attack, even if this card leaves the field, and if it does, destroy that monster. If the equipped monster would be destroyed by battle or card effects, destroy this card instead. 0 attack, 2000 defense. This card is really weird. It's a Cyber Dragon support card, but for some reason it's Wind Attribute instead of Light Attribute. I don't understand that. I know Cyber Phoenix is Fire Attribute. Maybe they were going for like an attribute cycle. The effect is okay. It's a little bit too restrictive for my liking, though. I know there's a lot of cards now that list Cyber Dragon as a material. Like, think about Chimera Tech Dragons. Or I don't know why. Like, obviously they're not thinking 15 years in the future, oh man, Cyber Dragon's going to get more extra deck monsters. Obviously it doesn't work with Cyber Nova Dragon, which is sad. Yeah, I don't know why it's wind attribute. I think this card is bad. The effect's okay, though. Lose 1,000 attack points, pop a monster. Not bad. I think it's just way too awkward to try to get out. I guess in Cyber Dragon specifically, you are special summoning the Cyber Dragon. You got your normal summon available. So going second, you could special summon Cyber Dragon, equip it with Armored Cyburn, lose 1,000 attack, pop your opponent's monster, and then you're left with an 1,100 attack monster that has a little bit of battle immunity, which is not great. I think the card's just really bad. Next up, Cyber Valley. Light attribute, level 1, machine, effect. You can activate one of these effects. When this card is targeted for an attack, you can banish this card, draw one card, then end the battle phase. Ooh. You can target one face-up monster you control and this card, banish both those targets, then draw two cards. Ooh. You can target one card in your graveyard, banish both this card and one card from your hand, then place that target on the top of the deck. 0 attack, 0 defense. Really flexible? I have no idea why, but it looks like it's got a real dragon inside of it. It also reminds me of Volcanic Shell, but it looks like it's got a real dragon inside of the metal armor that's been decayed. Maybe it's just me. Cyber Valley has been meta in a lot of different formats. It's just really flexible. It does 3 good things, one of which is, okay. One of which is pretty good, especially if you're getting a second one off of machine duplication, 0 attack. You can bring out 2 more copies of it. Just ending the battle phase, and you get to draw a card? I guess the fence draw comes out later, but I don't know. Cyber Valley. It just does so much. I believe in the anime, Armored Cyburn can be equipped to any machine and destroys any card. Oh, that'd be better. Probably not worth running today, but was playable for close to a decade. I agree. Not just playable, meta. Its younger brother, I guess, or its older brother is Cyber Oroboros. Dark attribute, level 2, machine, effect. When this card is removed from play, you can send one card from your hand to the graveyard to draw one card. 100 attack, 600 defense. Is this useful? It's not once per turn, and it's neutral card advantage. You can, if you wanted to, use Gold Sark to banish this guy directly. Oh, it's a win effect, so it can miss the timing, though. It is acceleration. It is deck thinning. It is getting cards into the graveyard. It reads like a lot of good cards. I just don't know if it has an actual application is the problem. I think we put it in Gimmick to be safe. Or you can use Gold Sark to banish a Malice monster. Oh yeah. That's fair. It is generally outclassed now that I think of it. Next up, Volcanic Counter. Fire attribute, level 3, Pyro, effect. When you take battle damage while this card is in your graveyard, banish it from the graveyard. Then, if there's a fire monster other than Volcanic Counter in your graveyard, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the amount of battle damage you took. 300 attack, 1300 defense. So when you take battle damage while this card is in your graveyard, banish it from the graveyard. This is a mandatory effect. So you don't want to have just counter in your graveyard because then it banishes itself for no reason and you don't get any benefit, which is a little goofy. What is the upside of Volcanic Counter? You get to force your opponent to take the battle damage that you just took. I don't think that's particularly good. I think this card is just bad. I know people tinker around with it because it's a graveyard effect, but I think if you have Volcanic Counter, you just prefer to have Necro Gardener most of the time. Counter is a cute one of. Not great, but it's surprising how often people forget about a counter you dumped at the start of the turn and burn for lethal. Okay. Next up, Fire Trooper. Fire attribute, level 3, warrior, effect. Why is this a warrior? When this card is summoned, you can send it to the graveyard to inflict 1000 damage to your opponent. 1000 attack, 1000 defense. That conversion just doesn't make sense to me. I bring it up every single time a monster does burn damage because Stealth Bird is my vantage point. Fire Trooper is faster than Stealth Bird. It is a turn faster, but it is a one-time effect. And I guess you can miss the timing on this one too. Like if your opponent interrupts it. And it's only 1000 damage. This card has 1000 attack. If it attacks in, it does the same thing, but it gets to stay on the field. I think this card's just real bad. Counter was played when Volcanics was played in 2014. Oh, it is a Volcanic. It is a Blaze Accelerator target. I didn't even think of that. Okay. Fair. Counter was meta at one point. Oh. Next up, more Destiny Heroes. Destiny Hero Dunker. Dark attribute, level 4, warrior, effect. You can send one Destiny Hero card from your hand to the graveyard. So, not just monsters. Inflict 500 damage to your opponent. 1200 attack, 1700 defense. It's not once per turn, but man, getting to FTK your opponent with this would be ridiculous. You'd have to have so many cards in hand. You'd have to have 16 Destiny Hero cards in hand. I think this is thankfully bad. It's a little bit of damage if you wanted it though. Oh, I didn't even notice. Fire Trooper is not just on normal summon. It's when it's summoned by any means. That is nice. Yeah, best part of Destiny Hero Dunker is the name. And the artwork. Let's see if it's surpassed by Destiny Hero Departed. Dark attribute, level 2, warrior, effect. During your standby phase, if this card is in your graveyard, special summon it in face-up attack position to your opponent's side of the field. If this card is destroyed by battle, banish it instead of sending it to the graveyard. If a card effect would send this card to the graveyard from the hand or deck, banish it instead. 1000 attack, 0 defense. How do you get this card into the graveyard? Because it can't... How do you actually get it into the graveyard? Because you can't send it from hand or deck, and it can't be destroyed by battle. So I guess your only option is to get it onto the field and then destroy it by card effect or send it to the graveyard from the field? Man, this card is really bad. I actually prefer the alternate artwork, the one on the Yu-Gi-Oh website, for the record. About Oroboros, Destiny Hero Dunker is an awesome name on a bad effect, yeah. Also, in my opinion, Fire Trooper should be a tier higher. Okay. I just don't understand how you're supposed to use Destiny Hero Departed. But maybe that's just me. I guess you could banish it first, and then return it to your graveyard with Burial from a Different Dimension or Miracle Deck. This card just boggles my mind. And then the actual effect on it, though. The benefit is you give your opponent a free monster, which is never a good thing. I guess it's one that you could crash into, but nah. Next up, our next dark counterpart is Dark Horus. Oh. Jay says, I think Departed in the anime went to your opponent's grave after it was destroyed on your opponent's field. Okay. I don't know if it was in the anime, but Departed really feels like an anime card created for an incredibly specific situation. That is most anime cards, in my opinion. They're either incredibly busted all the time in all circumstances to make up for bad writing. Well, maybe not bad writing, but bad planning on the part of the writer. Or they're just so niche that they never see any use. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Departed had an errata or something because of a loop. Let's check that out. How do you loop it? Oh, does it work with Imperial Iron Wall? Okay, so it looks like, yes, it had errata, but its errata just replaced the words remove it from play with banish it instead. So that's just cleaning up card text. I don't consider that actual errata. That meant if either King Tiger Wonghu or Slifer the Sky Dragon were on the field who'd immediately destroyed this card with their effects, then this card would just keep coming back infinitely. This special ruling was put into place to prevent an infinite loop. Okay. Man. Departed gets an infinite loop with Tiger King Wonghu or Slifer the Sky Dragon. That is crazy. Thank you for bringing that up. The card is uniquely bad. Let's get back to Dark Horus. Dark Attribute, level 8. Dark Effect, Dragon Effect. Once per turn, after resolving a spell card that was activated during your opponent's main phase, you can target one level 4 dark monster in your graveyard, special summon that target. This card must be face up on the field to activate and to resolve this effect. 3000 attack, 1800 defense. So, you need to be running quick play spells. The actual effect of this card, getting to special summon a level 4 dark monster from your graveyard, that's okay. It's during your opponent's turn, which I guess could be a little dirty if you brought back the barrier statue of the Abyss and then just shut them out for the turn. There's other ways that you could do that, but that'd be a little silly. This card did see meta success because they were just running dark everything, but I don't think it's that good. I actually think Horus the Black Flame Dragon level 8 has a better effect. It's just too slow, in my opinion, but it is free card advantage. Oh, does it not have to be your card? Once per turn, after resolving a spell card that was activated during your opponent's main phase. Oh. Is Dark Horus just... I don't know. It is something that you can bring out with Red Eye's Darkness Metal Dragon. I don't know if there's any use for it, though. Seems gimmicky. Konami should retrain Dark Horus, make Darker Horus. MST negates. More like MST revives the level 4. It's not level 4 or lower, it's just level 4 period. Dark monster from your graveyard. MST gaining new effects. I like the idea, though. I think we'll bump it down. Next up, the Dark Creator. Dark Attribute. Level 8. Thunder. Effect. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must first be special summoned from your hand by having 5 or more dark monsters in your graveyard while you control no monsters. Once per turn, you can banish 1 dark monster from your graveyard to target 1 dark monster in your graveyard. Special summon that target. 2300 attack, 3000 defense. The Creator stats. I like this card. The only problem I have with it is the fact that you can't control any monsters when you want to special summon it. Getting to 5 dark monsters in your graveyard, not that hard. Getting to special summon a monster from your graveyard once per turn, pretty good. Unlike the Creator, which had a discard cost, banishing a dark monster, which you obviously have several in your graveyard at this point, is not that big a cost. This was played in Dad Return, and maybe Teledad, and various other dark decks. I don't think it's strong enough today, just because if it had an inherent special summoning condition and could just jump out of your hand onto the field, I think it'd be a little bit better and maybe playable today. But that's just me. The Dark Creator almost aged like wine. I'll agree with that. Good card, though. Next up, Dark Nifs. Dark Attribute. Level 8. Winged Beast. Effect. If you have 3 or more dark monsters in your graveyard, and this card in your hand, you can banish 2 of them from your graveyard. Send this card from your hand to the graveyard. During your next standby phase, after this card was sent to the graveyard by this effect, special summon this card from the field. When this card is special summoned, target 1 spell/trap card on the field. Destroy that target. This just triggers when it's special summoned regardless. So, hypothetically, you could bring out Dark Nifs with Swallow's Nest or possibly you could use Ninjutsu Art of Transformation and bring it out. It's level 8, so you'd need a level 5 or higher ninja, but it's just special summon in general. Winged Beast aren't the easiest thing to bring out though, so I don't know if you consider it today. But yeah, this was played. You gotta wait a little while, but this is board presence and card advantage, and all it costs is cards from your graveyard, which are not that big a deal. It does have weird text, I agree with that. I feel like they wanted to reference Sacred Phoenix, but I guess they watered it down a little bit too. Inherent special summoning condition, though. Pretty decent. Dark Phoenix does feel like a downgrade from the original's Heavy Storm. Yeah, especially when we get Fire Kings. When Sacred Phoenix, gets its own archetype. It doesn't really. I mean, yes, Nifs gets its own archetype later, but it just fits so naturally into Fire Kings. Also, hi, Dark Arm Dragon. No, you missed it. You could have said, hi, Dad. Man, I think everyone knows what this card is. I don't know why this isn't the cover card. If I were making sets, I'd really swap up what they choose to put on the cover. I think they prefer anime cards over impactful cards, but maybe, I don't know. Would be weird to see like Jaugen the Spiritualist on the pack, because that's like one of the best cards from its set. Anyway, Dark Armed Dragon. This is the dark counterpart for Armed Dragon level 7. Dark attribute, level 7, Dragon, effect. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned from your hand by having exactly 3 dark monsters in your graveyard. You can banish 1 dark monster from your graveyard, then target 1 card on the field, destroy that target. 2800 attack, 1000 defense, not once per turn. At any point is this once per turn. So hypothetically, you could special summon Dark Armed Dragon, bounce it back to hand with things like Gen X Allied Birdman, special summon Dark Armed Dragon again, and the pop effect is not once per turn, so you could possibly pop 3 cards. More if you have more graveyard setup, which is fair. And of course, I've talked about it previously because they brought Phantom of Chaos into the game last set. You can copy Dark Armed Dragon's effect and just pop and pop and pop. Oh man, this card is fantastic. I say it's worth considering today, but I might be in the minority. Special summons itself, you just gotta, have the right timing. And there are ways to modulate the number of dark monsters in your graveyard too, like with Zephyros the Elite. Oh, whoa, Dad, from Yugi. God watching Dad slowly creep his way to the left side like a moment in a movie where you know something bad is about to happen, but you can only watch. Imagine seeing Droll and Lockbird as the main card for your set. Oh, that'd be funny too. Is Dad a design mistake for pricing a significant part of the player base, myself included, out of the game for a significant period of time? No. Simply because when we are evaluating cards in this list, functionally you get 3 copies of whatever you want. Money is no object in these lists. I know it's come up a few times before with Crush Card Virus, for instance. Doom Caliber Knight is another one that was really expensive. Cyberstein was another jump promo that was expensive for a little while, but that got a reprint pretty soon. Dad is the original access code talker. Dad is just fantastic. In fact, I'll put him like this. We'll put a Dad above Dark Greffer. Also, Dark Greffer can help you unload your hand. The original $300 Ultra. If you don't know, Dad was such a dominant force in the game for such a long time. There were Dad return decks, which used Dark Armed Dragon and a whole bunch of other fun dark monsters, and return from the different dimension to set up your graveyard, banish your graveyard, bring back a whole bunch of cards, and then OTK. Afterwards, people were still playing Dark Armed Dragon, but then when Synchro Monsters came out, Emergency Teleport, and weirdly Krebons was the tuner of choice, and you could just Synchro Summon in your new Dark Armed Dragon deck. And then when we get much later in the game, where we just get, what was it, Dark Warrior? You could take Dark Armed Dragon into Dark Warrior. Dark has the best card pool. Dad is sadly not impactful enough these days. Not even worth considering. Not even as a combo extender. Not even as spot removal. I want to put it up there. I say it's worth it. But yeah. Next up, we got Guts. Or Gatsu. Dark Crusader, Dark Attribute, level 4, Warrior, effect. You can send 1 dark monster from your hand to the graveyard. This card gains 400 attack, 1600 attack, 200 defense. It's sort of like a Prometheus, Lord of Shadows, which we got in the Dark Structure deck. Well, Japan got it in the Dark Structure deck, and we got it in a random deck. You can see, like, the red cape, and he's got the Dragon Slayer that he's wielding. I think this is a pretty obvious reference to Berserk. Strangely, it was played at the time. I think that this is a terrible use of card advantage. But hitting, that particular breakpoint where you could sacrifice this for deck devastation virus, that is pretty decent. And it's also a warrior. You get the generic warrior support. The extra deck is too powerful, and there are extra deck monsters that can fill a similar role to Dad. That is fair. Okay. Sadly, we might put Dad in meta at one point, but it was meta defining. Back in my day, Dad used to be the most dominant card in the game. Not those ugly rank 4 robots and cyber waifus. Next card up, we're just moving on, is Armageddon Knight, Dark Attribute, level 4, Warrior effect. When this card is summoned, so normal, special, or flip, you can send one dark monster from your deck to the graveyard. 1400 attack, 1200 defense, not once per turn, searchable with Rhoda, special summon it, and self-extend. It's Foolish Burial. It's restricted to just dark monsters, but it's still Foolish Burial. I put it right up next to Dark Greffer. They're like two different flavors in my opinion. If you can bring out Armageddon Knight, you're probably going to snowball. Actually, Dad smells like a Malice card. Armageddon Knight changed card design. I don't know if I'd say it changed card design. We have other effects much earlier on the game that trigger on summon in general, like Bowser Shock. Visor Shock is one of them, and Dark Geroid of all cards. Oh no, I can only send dark monsters from Tizera. Oh, that must make it terrible. Speaking of worth considering today, yeah, easily. Two different flavors in my opinion. Nothing fair happens when Armageddon Knight is summoned. Okay. I can... Well, do you consider sending, like, a Destiny Hero Malicious or Plague Spreader Zombie to be fair? Because that's what I use Armageddon Knight most of the time for. Cards like that, where they do help, they do extend. There are a lot of other cards now that I think of it, though. I think there are fair ways, but I do think that Armageddon Knight can be degenerate too. It's just so flexible. Next up, we have Doomsday Horror. Interestingly, they took out the horns when they regionalized for the TCG. Dark Attribute, level 4, Fiend, effect. This card's attack and defense are equal to the number of banished dark monsters times 300. If this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, return all banished dark monsters to the graveyards. Question mark attack, question mark defense. This card sort of has anti-synergy with itself, where you want it to be big and powerful, and this could be your finisher. This could be your win condition. Grin Maja de Aiza, another fiend that does sort of function the same way. I don't actually think you use this as your finisher, though. I think you use this to refill your graveyard. And in that respect, it's not that bad. I think everyone's seen this effect and experimented around with it. Oh man, I can get back my Plague Spreader Zombie. Oh man, I can get... Well, you don't want to get back your Maliciouses that are banished. You want them in the deck. But you get what I mean. Was there any, if this card is summoned, send one monster of a specific type / attribute monster prior to Armageddon Knight? I don't think so. Oh, and for the record, Armageddon Knight started its own cycle with like Brushfire Knight, Altitude Knight, Dusty Knight, Wet Knight, and Light Knight. I don't remember any of the other ones apparently. Why do I remember the Wind one? I don't know. But yeah, I think Doomsday Horror goes here. It serves a function, but I think it's a little bit too slow and too conditional. But it can get out of hand. How many monsters before this gets good? 7 or 8-ish banished monsters? And I guess you could play it in the mirror too. I think it's decent. Don't forget Math Mech Circular. Shame the other knights were lackluster. Yeah. They're so lackluster I forgot their names. Next up, Obsidian Dragon. Dark attribute, level 4, rock. Effect. Negate the effects of spell and trap cards that target only one face-up dark monster you control and destroy them. 800 attack, 2100 defense. I think this is okay. You set it, and then you get a little bit of protection for your dark monsters. I believe Dark Illusion is, Dark Illusion's in this set as well. And Dark Illusion sort of does the same thing, but better in my opinion. But I don't think that's a bad card. Stats are decent too. Dawn Knight is the light one, and the second best of the attribute Foolish Knights. Oh, that's nice to know. Shame they didn't call it Light Knight. Next up, Shadow Priestess of Ohm. Dark attribute, level 4, spellcaster, effect. You contribute one dark monster you control to inflict 800 damage to your opponent. 1700 attack, 1600 defense. This card causes FTKs. A lot of them. It is restricted to just dark monsters, which I guess makes it different than Cannon Soldier. Cannon Soldier, just tribute anything, burn for 500. Shadow Priestess of Ohm, you only need 9 monsters, since you contribute the Priestess at the end, and then you can FTK with it. How hard is it to get out 9 dark monsters? Not that hard. Why do we have 2 DMOC FTK enablers in the set? I don't know. If you're not picking it up on it, Cannon Soldier Mark II is in this set too. I don't like Tribute 2 burn cards. I think they're not healthy for the game. At least this one doesn't work in frogs. But yeah, the card is just degenerate. Mech card? Shadow Priestess of Ohm has lots of tops as an FTK deck, which I think is disgusting. Next up, we have Gemini Lancer. Water attribute, level 4, Sea Serpent, Gemini. I'm going to read the Gemini effect one time. This card is treated as a normal monster while face up on the field or in the graveyard. While this card is face up on the field, you can normal summon it to have it treated as an effect monster with this effect. Effect. During battle between this attacking card and a defense position monster whose defense is lower than the attack of this card, inflict the difference as battle damage to your opponent. 1800 attack, 1400 defense. It just reads bad to me. Like Exarion Universe exists and takes less steps. Mad Sword Beast has less attack but takes less steps. Enraged Battle Ox exists and takes less steps. I feel like we're at the point in the game where you could have just released this as an effect monster with this effect and not have any concern about it even remotely affecting the metagame. If this card were in GOAT format and treated as an effect monster all the time, maybe it would be okay. Maybe it'd be a little bit oppressive even? I don't know. It's just doing piercing damage. I think the card is very bad. But it's got so many more attack points, and I don't think it matters. Obsidian Dragon Shadow Priestess is busted. I can agree with that. Spear Dragon was a card 3 years earlier and not great. That's true, but Spear Dragon 1900 attack shifts itself to defense position. I believe there was another Goblin card that might have done the same thing. That's true. Spear Dragon did see play though, which is fair. Oh yeah, easily. Next up, Gigaplant. Earth attribute, level 6, plant, Gemini, effect. Its effect is, once per turn, you can special summon one insect or plant monster from your hand or graveyard. 2400 attack, 1200 defense. It's a soft once per turn on Gigaplant, meaning that if you get Super Alloy Beast Reptinus out on the field, all your Gemini monsters are always treated as effect monsters. You can get out a Gigaplant, special summon the other one from your hand or your graveyard, depending on where it's at, and just loop. Tribute to burn, you got your Gigaplant, bring it back over and over again. This card, all it needs is a hard once per turn, and it wouldn't be a problem. But the way that it reads now, it's just loop. One thing I was shocked about when I reread Gigaplant after a while, you can get insects out with Gigaplant, which makes sense if you look at the artwork. It's got insect legs. It's like a combination of an insect and a plant. A lot of Gemini monsters have this theming where they're multiple different things. Like Shadow Delver was another really good one. Ill Blood has another zombie coming out of him. Doom Shaman has one in the background. Anyway, artistically, design is great. But the problem is you can loop it. Even if Gigaplant wasn't a plant, if Gigaplant was, well, I guess you'd have to change the name. Like, I don't know, a rock or something and couldn't loop into itself, that would fix it too. But I just think it needs a hard once per turn, and that's it. Not going to lie, I completely forgot Gigaplant can summon insects. Yeah, me too. I don't think anyone uses Gigaplant for insects, but it's Insector support. You can run Lone Far Blossom. It always goes overlooked that Gigaplant is also an insect extender if you cheat it out. This card is a menace, and I love him for it. Geminis are structurally bad, but Gigaplant plus Super Alloy Beast guarantees they'll never make good Gemini support. I don't know why you didn't just errata this card. Just hard once per turn. It's not that hard. That's all it needed. Yeah. Pretty nutty with Lone Fire. Imagine if it wasn't a Gemini. Okay, this monster has to be a Gemini monster. I could not see this one as a normal monster with this, or as a normal effect monster with its effect. It'd be too crazy. Card's busted as already. Next up, Future Samurai. Ah yes, my favorite Insector support cards. Primite Drill Beam and Giant Ballpark. Let's move on. This is the most Six Samurai looking card that's not a Six Samurai monster in my opinion. I don't quite get it. Maybe lore. I don't know. Light attribute level 4, warrior, Gemini. Its effect is, once per turn, you can banish one monster from your graveyard to target one face-up monster on the field, destroy that target. 1600 attack, 1200 defense. This card sort of already exists as a light attribute warrior monster that banishes from your graveyard to pop cards on field, and it's Freed the Matchless General. No, it's Freed the Brave Wanderer. It's the other one. Freed the Brave Wanderer. But that requires you to banish 2 light monsters, and it can only hit things that are stronger than itself. Future Samurai's effect is pretty decent. It's once per turn, and it just pops. It's immediately outclassed by Dark Arm Dragon when you compare them, but it's not a bad card. I believe there are a couple times where you did run Future Samurai in meta decks at the time. But I'm not sure. Future Samurai is almost good. Yeah. I think it's okay. These two cards I don't understand. The Vengeful Shinobi, Dark Attribute, level 2, Warrior effect. When this face-up attack position card is targeted for an attack, draw one card. 400 attack, 800 defense. I guess the strategy is you get out your Vengeful Shinobi, and then you wait for your opponent to attack into it, and then, haha, you surprise them with, like, Wabaku, or another Battle Trap, maybe, and you get to draw a card off of it. I just don't think that that's a particularly good strategy. Your opponent's going to try to attack, or not try to attack, they're going to try to pop your Shinobi. Has no inherent protection, and it's otherwise very weak. I think the card is filler. Sort of reads like an anime card. Next up, we have the Immortal Bushi. Dark Attribute, level 3, Warrior effect. While this card is face up on the field, it cannot be tributed, except for the tribute summon of a warrior type monster. During your standby phase, if this card is in your graveyard and all the monsters in your graveyard are warrior type, you can special summon this card. You must also control no monsters to activate and to resolve this effect. 1200 attack, 600 defense. It is sort of like Treeborn Frog. We've already seen Samsara Lotus as Treeborn Frog. It's a lot harder to use in my opinion though. Limits you to just warriors. The primary function for the Immortal Bushi, much like Treeborn Frog, is in a Monarch deck, but this doesn't function in a Monarch deck. When we get Synchro monsters though, you could get your Immortal Bushi back over and over again and then use it for Synchro summons. That's not bad. It is free recurring card advantage for the time. It's just one of those cards that feels like it's all in, and it requires you to build your entire deck around it. And to me, that's a breaking point. It's almost good. The Immortal Bushi is Kaiju proof. That's fair. At least he's not once per turn. Yeah. Conceivably, you could tribute him for like enemy controller during the standby phase if you wanted to. Take one of your opponent's monsters, but then you can't bring out back the Immortal Bushi. Oh. Just slightly too awkward for me. I know there are times where he was experimented with because free card advantage. But to me, it's like filler. The only thing that I know about Vengeful Shinobi is that the card was in one of the Zexal era starter decks. He's so bad, he got power crept in the same set it came out. Oof. Next up, we got Field Commander Raz. Earth Attribute, level 4, Warrior effect. When this card is normal or special summoned, choose one level 4 or lower warrior type monster from your deck, except Field Commander Raz, and place it on top of your deck. 1600 attack, 1200 defense. I think this card is related to Matchless General Freed, the card that lets you substitute your draw for the turn to target a level 4 or lower warrior monster and add it to your hand. This effect is okay. Possibly this effect is even good. Triggers off of normal or special summon. If you can tutor this out from the deck, then you can set up, but it's for next turn. So you'd need to also have card draw if you wanted to really extend with it. I think it's just good on release. This card comes up all the time in the wiki because it searches so many different cards that you'll see it in the wiki all the time too. It's like Rhoda, but slower. Freed, Raz, and Marauding Captain are all part of the same unit in the lore. Thank you. Next up, we get a new Gladiator Beast. Well, we got Andal, but a new one that can tag in and out. Earth attribute, level 4, Beast Warrior effect. When this card is special summoned by the effect of a Gladiator Beast monster, you can target one Gladiator Beast monster in your graveyard, special summon that target, but its effects is negated by this card, and it is shuffled into the deck when this card leaves the field. At the end of the battle phase, if this card attacked or was attacked, you can shuffle it into the deck, special summon one Gladiator Beast monster from your deck, except Gladiator Beast Darius. 1700 attack, 300 defense. And you can immediately see what this card is good for, or maybe not. This card is to help you get out your fusion monsters in Gladiator Beasts. Right now, like in the game, this card does way more than it did, but at the time, you contact Fuse, and then you could bring out one of your big boss monsters in Gladiator Beasts. Pretty good. He also has the Gladiator Beast Lash, I believe, in his artwork. But yeah. I don't know if you play it now, though, in modern Gladiator Beasts. It's good, but it's sort of like Debris Dragon, I'd say, where you need the necessary setup to make it really good. Shoutouts to Rank Up Magic the 7th one. Gotta be one of my favorite genders of gambling my top decks. AKA Bestiari, so that you can summon Gyzerus. Thank you. Darius sets up the Link summons in Modern Glads. Okay. There we go. Next up, we'll get a new Archfiend. A new chessboard Archfiend. For those who care. Like, you can see the chessboard in the background, but it's like the inside of a cube. Dark attribute. Imprisoned Queen Archfiend. Dark attribute. Level 2, 4, 6, 8. Level 8. Fiend effect. During each of your standby phases, you must pay 1,000 life points. This is not optional, or this card is destroyed. During your standby phase, target one level 4 or lower Fiend-type monster on the field. That target gains 1,000 attack until the end phase. Pandemonium must be on the field, and this card must be in your graveyard to activate and to resolve this effect. 2,600 attack, 1,700 defense. I guess the strategy is this is level 8, so you could trade in and then get it into the graveyard, but then you need Pandemonium, and then your big payoff is pretty much the payoff of the other Archfiend Queen, where you get 1,000 attack points. I think the card is pretty bad. And it's weird that it doesn't specify Archfiend monsters, it's just Fiend-type monsters in general. I don't know. It almost does something. Next up, oh, the chessboard Archfiend's got a monster. Let's give the black dinosaurs another monster. When our black dinosaurs going to be a thing? Because we got Black Tyranno, and Black Petra, and Black Stegosaurus, and now we get Black Velocity. Earth attribute, level 4, dinosaur, effect. If this card attacks an opponent's monster, this card gains 400 attack during the damage step only. If this card is attacked by an opponent's monster, this card loses 400 attack during the damage step only. 1,800 attack, 300 defense. This card is almost word for word Steamroid. Except it's a dinosaur monster instead of a machine. It's sort of part of a series, but not really an archetype. I don't see the benefit of Black Velocity. I think the card's just bad. Especially when we compare it to like Spirit of Flames, which attacks with 2,000 attack and doesn't take, away some of his attack during your opponent's turn. Maybe it's just me. It's Steamroid, but worse, yeah. It's cute in that it wants you to imprison it to get... Imprison Queen Archfiend is cute because you want to imprison it to get its effect. Hasselberry was so jealous of Cyrus for being Jaden's best friend, he decided to get his own steamroid. Velociraptors truly were the ancestors of trains. Ah, yes. I don't know why they printed this card. Next up, Super Ancient Deep Sea King Coelacanth. Water attribute, level 7, fish effect. Once per turn, you can discard one card, special summon as many level 4 or lower fish monsters as possible from your deck, but they cannot declare an attack, and their effects are negated. When a card or effect is activated that targets this card on the field, quick effect, you contribute one other fish type monster, negate that effect, and if you do, destroy that card. Not once per turn. 2800 attack, 2200 defense. I don't think I've ever seen Super Ancient Deep Sea King Coelacanth used for something that was fair. Anytime you see the card text, special summon as many as possible, gets me excited. And this is not an exception. It spams the board. Right now you got Synchro, Link, Xyz material, tons of it. It is once per turn, thankfully, on the special summon effect. It'd be crazy if it weren't the plays that you can do. But this is perfect setup. Does it get all the way up to here, or does it stay down here? There are FTKs that are facilitated by this card. I don't know where I want to put it, though. It's being played in Modern Mermails. That's good. Easily worth considering. Design mistake, but goated. Oh, man. So many different opinions. We put it here. We put it here. We put it here. Literally played in Mermail today. Okay, we put it here. He taught the fish to synchro Xyz and Link summon. Yeah. Card's really good, though. I like it. I didn't even think about that, though. The card that you discard in Mermails can help you extend, too. Like if you discarded Dragoons, for instance. Real strong. Next up, Cannon Soldier Mark II. Earth attribute, level 5, machine effect. You contribute 2 monsters to inflict 1500 damage to your opponent. 1900 attack, 1200 defense. Thankfully, it's 1900. It's a little harder to get out. If this guy was under 15, it'd be a little bit worse. I want to put it right here. Card's been banned for a long time in the OCG. I just don't think that there's a combo for it in the TCG at the moment, but Tribute to Burn are just not good effects in my opinion. They're not well designed. It just leads to FTKs. Next up, we get the Calculator. The guy looks like a Morphtronic to me. Light attribute, level 2. Thunder effect. The attack of this card is the combined levels of all face-up monsters you control times 300. Question mark attack, 0 defense. I wonder if it says anything in the binary behind it. Because it's not repeating. I don't know. I think it's filler outclassed. One, the card doesn't work with link ratings or ranks. I believe it's the Calibrator that works with ranks, and I believe there's a new version of it too that does work with link rating. Calculator OTK is really fun. The Calculator is another goated card. Ah, yes, Yubel support. Oh, that is fair. Yubel is a whole bunch of levels. This card gaining 3,000 attack points off of one Yubel. Interesting. I wonder if you could play the Calculator in Hunders, specifically, because you get a lot of extra normal summons in Hunders. They're not that high level, but you could, really snowball with it. And it counts your opponent's monsters too, which is another big benefit. Calculator has a neat effect. Can be used back in the day in junk decks. That's fair. Oh, it's level 2, so you could literally play it with Junk Synchron. But Junk Synchron wouldn't get its effect. But we'll put it here. There are some applications. Next up, Sea Koala. I can't remember if we have Tree Otter yet, but this card is material for one of the funniest fusion monsters in my opinion. In my opinion? In my opinion. That being Koala Koala. So, Tree Otter, Sea Koala come together, make Koala Koala. Earth attribute, level 2, Beast effect. Once per turn, you could target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Change that target's attack to 0 until the end of this turn. You must control another beast monster to activate and to resolve this effect. 100 attack, 1600 defense. 0 attack, eh? Is this reptilian support? No, it's not. The card reminds me a lot of Cat Ear Tribe, which was played at gimmick levels, where it changes your opponent's attack. Yeah, the calculator has a different retrain for each different type of levels in the game. Level 2 Beast means that Sea Koala can be played in Melfi and Sprite, also Obsidian schooled. I say retrain, but it's more like a counterpart, yeah. It's upgrades. Upgrades, people. The effect's okay. I don't know where to put it, though. I don't think you were running Sea Koala in your baby raccoon deck with Obsidian schooled. I think the effect is just not as impactful as it needs to be. So, I'm going to say it's filler. Next up, Blue Thunder T45. Light attribute, level 4, machine, effect. If this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, special summon 1 Thunder option token, machine type, light, level 4, 1500 attack, 1500 defense. This token cannot be tributed for a tribute summon. 1700 attack, 1000 defense. I think, like with all the other Konami arcade space shooter cards, Blue Thunder is just worse than Hydrogeddon. Where Hydrogeddon, brings out another copy, and which can then bring out another copy. When you get the option token, that's it. It doesn't make more option tokens from that token. Which is sad. Sea Koala is a yummy tech. He's cute and silly just like the archetype. Okay. That's fair. I think these cards are just underwhelming. I don't think there's been a good Gradius card yet. Next up, Magnetic Mosquito. Light attribute, level 3. Insect, effect, flip. Destroy all face-up machine-type monsters on the field. 300 attack, 1000 defense. I don't know if this card is necessary for the game, when you think about it, because machines are like the easiest cards to get rid of in terms of how many cards are actually in the game, because you got Acid Rain, and you got System Down, and you got Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon, and now you have Magnetic Mosquito. I just don't think this card is necessary. It's a flip effect, so it's a lot slower than just System Down, which also clears your opponent's graveyard. How much time left from Phantom Darkness to Jirak Gwaiba? When did Jirax come out? 2011? I think it's 2 or 3 years. No, we're in 2007. I think it's 3 or 4 years. Yeah. Anyway, I think the mosquito is just underwhelming. We got better options. I like the card, though. Next up, we got Earth Effigy. Earth Attribute, level 4, Rock, Effect. This card can be treated as 2 tributes for the tribute summon of an Earth normal monster. 100 attack, 2000 defense. We got the Trojan Horse, which has better stats, arguably. And can be used for effect monsters. I think the effigy cards have not had a single success case yet. But what about Wind Effigy? Well, Wind Effigy, Wind Attribute, level 4, Winged Beast, Effect. This card can be treated as 2 tributes for the tribute summon of a winged normal monster. 1800 attack, 200 defense. That's not bad stats. 1800 is a beat stick. Can bring it out with Swallow's Nest if you wanted to. The problem with this card is there weren't any naturally occurring normal monsters that you could actually summon out with Wind Effigy until we get Samorg, Bird of Ancestry. So on release, this card is useless. Arguably, the card continues to be useless because we had Whirlwind Prodigy, which was easier to get out and could just be used as 2 tributes for any wind monster. I guess this one has 1800 attack. I think this card was so bad that it's the reason we don't have a fire effigy or a water effigy. This is where they ended the series. It's an incomplete cycle. Well, why? Oh, the card's really bad. From Mark, anyone on Master Duel? If so, what archetype are you running? That's a good question. From Lyrical Star, Wind Effigy on release. Phantom Darkness, Konami. Where's my targets? Henrik Hagenwolf. Because we totally had one in 2007. Yugi, never had a chance. Sad face. Jace. There was once a Gradius deck that topped in an early Synchro era that was running Blue Thunder. Wow. Are there even any 2 tribute wind normal monsters today? I can't find any on the database. I think there are 2 cards that treat themselves as normal monsters in hand is the thing. So, card's really bad. But it's got more attack. Next up, Neospatian Twinkle Moss. Light Attribute, level 4, Plant, Fusion, Effect. This card's name is also treated as Neospatian Glow Moss. So I guess you can only max 3 total copies of them. This card cannot be special summoned except with Nex. When this card when this card attacks or is attacked, draw 1 card. This is what Glow Moss should have done in the first place. Reveal that card, and based on its type, apply the proper effect. Monster, in the battle phase. Spell, you can change this card's attack to a direct attack. Trap, this monster is changed to defense position. 500 attack, 1100 defense. Arguably, none of these are positive. If you're the one attacking, I guess, attacking for direct attack is okay. But shifting this guy to defense mode, well, what's the point? It's also got really bad stats, and Nex is unplayable. And this is one of the 2 cards that exist with Nex. And the other one's Marine Dolphin, and it's not particularly good either. Oh man, Twinkle Moss. Without Twinkle Moss, no one would know that Glow Moss was supposed to be a girl. True? You can draw 2 cards with this thing in Space Gift. Oh, that's good. If normal Glow Moss, you know, didn't make your opponent draw cards and you draw the card instead, I think it'd be better. I don't think it'd be great, though. Glow Moss continues to be the weakest part of the Neos lineup. I agree with that. Next up, we got another dual fusion. Elemental Hero Storm Neos. Wind Attribute. Level 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Warrior Fusion Effect. Materials are Elemental Hero Neos, Elemental Hero Air Hummingbird, Neospatian. I keep calling them Elemental Heroes. Neospatian Air Hummingbird and Neospatian Aqua Dolphin. Must first be special summoned from your extra deck by shuffling the above cards you control into the deck. You do not use polymerization. Once per turn, you can destroy all spell and trap cards on the field. Nice. Once per turn, you can... I already read that part. During the end phase, shuffle this card into the extra deck. When this card is shuffled into the extra deck this way, shuffle all cards on the field into the deck. 3,000 attack, 2,500 defense. Those effects are not bad. You're not getting a lot of value out of Heavy Storm most of the time in the modern game. Just, there's not a ton of back row. But shuffling all cards on the field into the deck is devastating. Like, the fact that you can cheat this card out, this one you sort of want to have, you know, its own effect trigger and then send itself back. Just, it's during the end phase though, so you can't capitalize off of it. It's sort of like evenly matched now that I think of it. Might be the best neg 4 in the game. I don't know. Cheating it out though. Do we consider it today in modern Neos decks, or do we consider it a gimmick? I think we gimmick. This card bugs me so much. So much. It's not Elemental Hero Rainbow Neos, which means it doesn't tap into a lot of the Elemental Hero support, and it bugs me so much. Light Attribute, level 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Warrior Fusion Effect. Materials are Rainbow, Elemental Hero Neos, and 1 Ultimate Crystal Monster. So, we saw Rainbow Dark Dragon is always treated as an Ultimate Crystal Monster. This is why. I think at one point this card said Rainbow Dragon or Rainbow Dark Dragon as materials, and it's since been changed. Hi, Predaplant Verte Anaconda. We'll get there. Must be fusion summoned with the above materials. Once per turn, you can activate one of these effects. Send 1 monster you control to the graveyard. Shuffle all monsters your opponent controls into the deck. That's pretty good. Send 1 spell or trap you control to the graveyard. Shuffle all spell and traps your opponent controls into the deck. Send 1 card from the top of your deck to the graveyard. Shuffle all cards from your opponent's graveyard into the deck. Once per turn, you get to activate one of them, though. But these are 3 really good effects. Shuffling all monsters your opponents control into the deck can be extremely devastating. That's just wipe your opponent's board. They don't get destruction triggers. Doesn't target. Man, this card sounds really good. Getting rid of their back row is whatever to me. But I think the last option, you know, shuffling all cards from your opponent's graveyard into the deck for virtually no cost, except for the opportunity cost, but, you know, milling a card from your deck is pretty much no cost. That's still pretty good. 4,500 attack, 3,000 defense. Yeah, I think this card's playable. I remember pulling this card. It was wild. Go Yugi. Absolutely love Rainbow Neos. Definitely worth running today, yeah. Shoutouts to the anime artwork for the card. Did I get the anime artwork? There might be another anime artwork that I'm unaware of. The card's really good, though. Neo's Fusion makes it super easy to summon now at the cost of 2 bricks. Yep. And it's ultimate crystal monster, so it works with the other fusion monsters too. I wonder if there's a way that you can get out it a little bit easier. You're using the IRL artwork. What does the anime artwork look like? Oh, the perspective is weird on the anime artwork. The more you know. I think I like the IRL artwork better. Next up, Rainbow Veil. Equip spell. If the equipped monster battles an opponent's monster while that monster is on the field, while that monster is on the field, its effects is negated during the battle phase only. If the equipped monster battles an opponent's monster while that monster is on the field, its effects is negated during the battle phase only. What? Does this negate your own effects, or does it negate your opponent's monster effects? I don't understand what this card does. Ah yes, Rainbow Veil. That one card you see very often in fan-made anime-accurate decks of Jaden versus insert Zexal character. The opponent's. Okay, so it negates your opponent's monster effects. The card's confusing, but maybe it's just confusing to me. I think this card's real bad. We got Skill Drain, does it all the time, and doesn't, and it's much better. We get Breakthrough Skill, we get Skill Prisoner. There's a lot of different options when we get later. It's just so narrow too. Like, when is this useful? I guess if they got like a poison effect, like Bullblader or DD Warrior Lady, maybe? I don't know. So narrow. Oh, maybe it's like Dark Ruler Hades, where you can turn off floating effects. Except no, it doesn't work like Dark Ruler Hades. It's only on the field. Man, the card's bad. I think the idea is this is a Yubel counter. I believe that's how it was used in the anime, to counter Yubel. Oh man, so narrow. Definitely an anime card. Artwork's good though. Next up, Super Poly, or Super Polymerization. Quick play spell. Discard 1 card. Fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from either field as fusion material. Neither player can activate cards or effects in response to this card's activation. Now this is the true Yubel counter. We have Impermanence, Lost Wind, Effect Veiler, Fiendish Chain, and Forbidden Chalice. Yep. We don't need the Rainbow Veil. But yeah. Super Poly is a lot of fun. One, this is spell speed 4, meaning your opponent can't respond to it, which is, it's beneficial in certain circumstances, especially if they want to like get rid of their monsters or activate an effect in response. They can't. 2, using your opponent's monsters is like non-destruction, non-targeting removal, which is fantastic. 3, one of the most amazing parts of Super Polymerization is the absurd things you can do with it. One time, I was playing against my opponent, and they had a Levia Sea Dragon, and Malicious out on the field. The rank 3 water attribute Dragon and Malicious out on the field. I activate Super Polymerization. I discard my 1 card. I get Elemental Hero Absolute Zero off of 2 of their monsters, meaning for the first time, a fusion summon was a +1, which is amazing. Card's really fun. Hot topic, Super Poly is a design mistake. Okay, I can see that. There's way more Super Poly targets now than back then. Just got better over time. Yeah, there's an absurd amount. Certain archetypes that have, you know, a polymerization target for every attribute, like Invoked and Shadal and Elemental Hero, man, they love Super Poly. But you can use it for a lot of other generic things. Card just gets better over time. Possible design mistake, though. I can see why. You can't respond to it. It's not fun. I can see it in design mistake territory. I can honestly see Super Polymerization being banned one day. But for now, I think it's worth considering. Next up, Vicious Claw. Equip spell. The equipped monster gains 300 attack. If the equipped monster would be destroyed by battle, return this card to the owner's hand instead. Very interesting. Then, destroy 1 monster, except the one that battled the equipped monster, and inflict 600 damage to your opponent. After that, special summon 1 evil token. Fiend type, dark, level 7, 2500 attack, 2500 defense, on your opponent's side of the field. During the turn that this card is returned to your hand, you cannot use Vicious Claw from your hand. A lot of text. Feels like they're learning from Butterfly Dagger Elma. The fact that this gives your opponent a really big monster is the only part that bugs me. Otherwise, I'd put this card in Gladiator Beast. Like, it returns itself to hand, prevents your monster from being destroyed, and then it's a free tag out. It sounds pretty good. But that's a pretty big token to give your opponent. But you do get a little bit of burn damage. And you get a paltry amount of attack points. Super Poly. Ooh, a lot of debate on Super Poly. It has been on the FNL list, yep. There was a story about this card where a guy had 5 dragons on the field and the opponent was playing Necros. And the Necros player played Super Poly and discovered they had 5-headed dragon. Wow. Well, Super Poly did get banned before, could always get banned again. Fun fact, Konami retrained Vicious Claw as an evil hero monster. Yeah. I don't know why, but I really like the design of Vicious Claw because it's got a little bit of biomechanical feel directly underneath it. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know if I want to put it in filler or just bad. If it didn't give you the token, it'd be pretty decent. If it didn't give your opponent the token, it'd be pretty decent. Next up, Instant Neospace. Cool artwork, bad card. That's a lot of cards, to tell the truth. Next up, Instant Neospace. Equip spell. Equip only to a fusion monster that lists Elemental Hero Neos as material. It does not have to activate its effect during the end phase to shuffle itself into the extra deck. I guess it still can, and I guess the rationale is Storm Neos benefits from that effect. If the equipped monster leaves the field, you can special summon 1 Elemental Hero Neos from your hand, deck, or graveyard. That last part is not that bad. You get a little bit of a rebate. Not bad. I don't think you even play this on an archetype, though. Elemental Hero Neos has joined the server. Not quite the successor to Instant Fusion we were hoping for. I think it's pretty filler. I believe there are ways to get back I want to say it's Wrath of Naos that will get back your elemental hero Naos when you lose your fusion. Next up, Mirage Tube. Quick play spell. This card cannot be activated from your hand. That sort of defeats the purpose of it being a quick play spell. Activate only when a face-up monster you control is selected as an attack target. Inflict 1000 damage to your opponent. What situation happens where you're activating a quick play spell while your opponent is selecting your monsters as an attack target, which is usually something that happens during your turn. So either your opponent gets a battle phase during your turn, or... I don't understand this text. Is it redundant text? Because you can't normally... You'd have to set it to get it to activate it during your opponent's turn. I don't think they understand how quick play spells work. Anyway, ignore that. Read it for what the card can do. Quick play spell. Wait a turn. Meteor of Destruction. Only when your opponent attacks. Isn't this just worse than Magic Cylinder? Okay, if the card is called Instant Neospace, why do I have to wait for the equipped monster to be destroyed? Good question. Mail-in rebate Neospace. I think this card they printed from the anime 1-to-1 for Mirage Tube. I think the card's just bad. Run Magic Cylinder if you really wanted this effect. Run Meteor of Destruction if you wanted to deal 1000 damage. Next up, another Yubel card, Spell Chronicle. Continue a spell. Activate this card by sending your entire hand to the graveyard. Great start. Banish 5 spell or traps from your deck. Each time your opponent activates a spell card, place 1 Chronicle counter on this card when the spell card resolves. You can remove 2 Chronicle counters from this card. Your opponent chooses 1 card banished by this card's effect from you, for you to add to your hand. If this face-up card in the spell and trap zone leaves the field, you take 500 damage for each card currently banished by this card's effect. Oh man. I'm getting Guarded Treasure vibes. Comment from Yugi. It also, Magic Cylinder also negates the attack, which is a big improvement. Mirage Tube in the anime is better, deals damage equal to the attack of your monster. Okay. Konami really didn't like Dark Horse when making Mirage Tube? Gambling. I remember when top players gaslit people into thinking Spell Chronicle was a secret meta tech and then sold all the copies for a higher price. Ooh. I don't like this card. It is so hard to use. Ideally, yeah, this card can slowly accumulate advantage, but if your opponent's activating spell cards, they might just be hitting it with MST or any of the, counterparts that were around at the time. Card's slow, cumbersome, can deal damage to you. Maybe it's not like Guarded Treasure. Maybe it's more like Destructive Draw. But it tutors. But it can, net you any of the spells that you need in your deck. I think it's very bad. Just being honest. Yeah, Spell Retrain got another Yubel Retrain. Spell Chronicle got a Yubel Retrain recently, and it's significantly better. But the way it works, I don't know, man. It's all in, too. Next up, Dimension Explosion. Quick play spell. Return 1 face-up fusion monster you control to the fusion deck. Both players select up to 2 of their monsters that are removed from play and special summon them. Malachite. Man, am I late? Miss Super Poly and everything? Aw. Sorry, Malachite. We're still not sure if Super Poly should go in design mistake or worth considering today, for the record. I hope nothing bad happens to Air Neos. Oh, he's in this artwork. Yeah, I didn't even notice that. Yeah. Elemental Hero Redacted. Really weird. And you got like Skyscraper and Yugi's background too. I don't quite understand what's happening in this card's artwork. You got fusion monsters on the left, and then you got like normal monsters on the right. I don't know. Card really cool though. I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's almost useful is the thing. Love the artwork on Dimension Explosion. It has blue eyes, Dark Magician, and Air Neos. Thank you, Yugi. Of course you would like it. It almost feels like it's useful. I think we'll put it here. Special summoning 2 your banished monsters, but you go -2 to get them back, and your opponent can get monsters. I don't know. It's not exactly Dimension Fusion or Return from the Different Dimension. Arguably, it's worse than Burial from a Different Dimension. So I'd say Super Poly is just really good, situationally better than Lightning Storm. Okay. Don't forget the Ojama King. Oh yeah, indeed, there is Ojama King in this artwork. How could we not? Don't know who is the next to Dark Magician, though. I want to say it's Gearfried, but maybe not. Card's almost okay, I think, for Dimension Explosion. Next up, Cybernetic Zone. Quick play spell. Select 1 face-up machine-type fusion monster you control and remove it from play until the end phase of this turn. When that monster is returned to the field, double its attack. During your next standby phase, destroy it. I don't understand Cybernetic Zone. We get limiter removal, which, you know, doubles the attack of your machine monster. I guess Cybernetic Zone is a combination of limiter removal and interdimensional matter transporter, so you can dodge removal, get your monster back, give it extra attack, attack in, and then you lose it anyway. So I don't understand. I think this card just doesn't function the way you want it to. Which is sad, because the artwork's cool. Relinquished. Oh, that's Relinquished! Okay, I see it now. It's just at such an odd angle. Dimension Explosion is fun. Weird flavor, though. Oh, hey! It's that Super Robo Yarrow. Yeah, why did they choose Super Robo Yarrow? It sounds like it should be a Cyber Dragon card. This card just doesn't do enough for me. Next up, I would not blame you if you thought that the beginning of the end was just solid black in its artwork, especially because of YouTube compression. Doesn't like dark things. It doesn't like the color black, and it will just make things completely black. But I'm going to go ahead and pull up the actual artwork. Brightness and contrast have been enhanced to make it a lot easier to view. This is what the card actually looks like for the beginning and the end. Okay, but it's pretty in person and ultra-rare? Yeah. To me, though, this artwork is fantastic. It's got so much detail. Like, they could have gotten away with the beginning and the end just being completely black, in my opinion. I remember when I pulled this card and thought it was a black card. Yeah. But man, there's so much going on. It's got Roman numerals, it's got eyes, it's got different symbols. You got a rose, you got an amphora, you got a little guy, and you got a caduceus. It reminds me of an Aztec sunstone You know, where it shows the different apocalypses. And when everyone turned into turkeys for a little while. Maybe it's just me. I like it. I think the artwork is fantastic. But let's get to the effect. The beginning of the end. Normal spell. If you have 7 or more dark monsters in your graveyard, banish 5 dark monsters from your graveyard. Draw 3 cards. Draw 3 cards. Banish all malice monsters in your graveyard. Draw 3 cards. Yeah. The is the opposite end of quality of the artist kept going from Ultimate Nightmare. Okay. I'm going to try to read that again without having a strong. This is the opposite end of the quality spectrum where Yubel, the Ultimate Nightmare, was just keep adding detail and detail and detail. And this is solid black. We got it. Then know what the card does. I think the card is perennially worth considering. Heavy cost, but draw 3 cards is crazy. It's not hard to fill up your graveyard with dark monsters. Also an incredibly interesting card. Wild. It's never found a home. I agree. It's hard for it to find a home. It's all in. Like when you compare it to like Pot of Avarice, arguably you want your cards in your deck more than you want them banished. But you get an extra card. The 7 is the hard part. Card's amazing though. Love the artwork. I love the enhanced artwork. Another card that I think has trouble finding a home, but is still really good, is Dark Eruption. Normal spell, target 1 dark monster with 1500 or less attack in your graveyard. Add that target to your hand. It's 1-for-1 recursion. It's sort of like the warrior returning alive, different card pool, but not bad. Occasionally it's all play. Card recycles hand traps, which is nice. What hand traps does it? I believe it gets Skullmeister. I believe Winter Cherries. I'm trying to think what other dark hand traps does it get? It gets back Battle Fader if you wanted a Battle Fader. Really cool art, but it's just too much to squeeze this card for readability. The effect reads like a Dark World card, but they really, really don't need it. Dark World needs more draw power. Was this a set that we got Escape from the Dark Dimension? Indeed it is. Doesn't get Skullmeister, but he's pretty much the only one it doesn't get. Okay, so it doesn't get Skullmeister. Skullmeister has more than 1500 attack. But yeah, you can get back your Jester Confit. You can get back, I believe, Birdman. Skullmeister has 1700 attack. But you can recycle DD Crow and Kalute. Oh man, this card had Black Wings. Get back your Gale. Special summon your Gale again. Not bad. I don't know if it's worth considering today. I think I put Recurring Nightmare in worth considering today, and this one for the same reason. Maybe it's just me. Next up, Fires of Doomsday. Quick play spell. Special summon 2 Doomsday tokens. Fiend, Dark, level 1, 0 attack, 0 defense, in defense position. These tokens cannot be tributed for a tribute summon unless it is for a dark monster. You cannot summon other monsters the turn you activate this card, but you can normal set. I think the question is, when is Fires of Doomsday better than Scapegoat? And the specific situation is like, you want to tribute Caius, so you activate Fires of Doomsday during your opponent's turn, and you get the tokens, and then you tribute them for Caius, which is okay. I can't think of a good use otherwise. It is a free token, but I think it's just too slow. if you're using it that way. I don't know if you're allowed to tribute set a level 5 or higher monster. Yubel and Earthbound Immortals. Okay, that's fair. I will say good on release. Okay. I'll accept that. Yubel is a good option for it, for Fires of Doomsday. It's just, you gotta wait around is the problem. Earthbound Immortals come out like 3 or 4 sets from now. I guess you get Dark Lord Zerata right here. So. Next up, Unleash Your Power. Quick play spell. All Gemini monsters that were on your side of the field when this card was activated are treated as effect monsters and gain their effects. During the end phase of this turn, set all monsters affected by this card's effect. Is this useful? I believe Supervise sorta does this, but this is, you know, hits all your Gemini monsters. If you have more than one on the field, they get to be treated as effect monsters, but then they get set face down? I don't know, it's so weird to me. Oh. Dark Eruption is good on release. I can see that. I know it's seen play in meta decks. Yeah. At least you can normal summon your monsters, yeah. I think this card is just bad. We got Double Summon, which does the same thing. We got Super Double Summon, which does the same thing. Goggle Golem. Okay, trying to say that again. Goggle Golem goes crazy mode, then takes a nap. Milo, this feels like it could be busted, but Konami just hasn't released the right Gemini. If Geminis treated themselves as normal monsters when they were in the deck and you could get them out with, you know, Rescue Rabbit and then get 2 on the field and then activate Unleash Your Power and then start snowballing from there, it'd be crazy. I don't know. Geminis just aren't there yet. I don't think that they should get there for the record, though. Next up, Chain Summoning. Quick play spell. Activate only as Chain Link 3 or higher. You can conduct up to 3 normal summons / sets this turn, not just 1. You cannot activate this card if multiple cards with the same name or the effects of such cards are already activated in that chain. So this is the chain text from like Accumulated Fortune and what is it? Chain Detonation, Chain Strike. It's a chain card, and look, it's got a chain in it. I like this effect. Like you normal summon a monster and then activate an effect in response to that, and then you get chain summoning out. Mainly when I think about chain summoning, I think about chain gadgets. I love using it. Hey, look, it's D-Fisher. That's true, too. And it's got, I think it's Marauding Captain. I don't know what that chain is, but card's cool. More normal summons always appreciated. Just a little bit awkward, in my opinion. You might still go with double summon over chain summoning. But still. Is that Dark Lucius? Is it Dark Lucius, not Marauding Captain? Now I gotta look it up. Oh, okay, we're both wrong. The wiki says it's Field Commander Roz. Not Dark Lucius and not Marauding Captain. Oh, Captain makes more sense. Yeah, but we're both wrong, so it's okay. Next card. In the category of why does this exist? Acidic Downpour. Field spell. All earth monsters lose 500 attack and gain 400 defense. I don't understand why there's just one of these cards. Like, we got one of these to boost every type or every attribute. We got, let me think if I can say them all. Mystic Plasma Zone for dark. Can't think of any of them. Rising Air Current for wind. Umi Iruka for water. Gaia Power for earth. Luminous Spark for light. And Molten Destruction? Use this with Stone Statue of the Aztec? No, you got Canyon for that. So it's literally the reverse of Gaia Power, but for rocks from Malachite. No, this is just the reverse of Gaia Power in general. You can activate Gaia Power, and then your opponent activates Acidic Downpour, and nothing happens. Which is silly. I don't understand why it's only Earth monsters that they got targeted with this, though. Like, why isn't this a thing for all the attributes? It hits your Earth monsters, too. I just don't see any application for it. Does Canyon stack with the Stone Statue? I believe it does. Why not gain 500, lose 400 instead? It's already banned, yeah. That's okay, though. Next up, we got 6 Samurai United. Look, it's got all 6 samurai. Continue a spell. Each time a 6 samurai monster is normal or special summoned, place 1 Bushido counter on this card, max 2. You can send this card to the graveyard. Draw 1 card for each Bushido counter on this card. It's not once per turn. You can accumulate multiple counters in the same turn. This card's a little bit broken. Or you could just special summon a ton of 6 samurai monsters. Because this is what they do. They're swarming. Like, you normal summon one out, you get your Grandmaster, and boom, you draw 2 cards. It is definitely a staple. This card was on the FNL list for a while. I don't think it ever got banned. I think it was only at 1, but it was at 1 for a really long time. This is just not quite Pot of Greed levels of good, but pretty strong draw support in your 6 Samurai deck. And when we get the legendary 6 Samurais, it gets even crazier because those special summon themselves. It's funny to think that 6 Samurai only gets more busted counter support from here. Oh yeah, they get Dojo too. Next up, Gladiator Beast's Battle Archfiend Shield. So, I guess this card works with Falling Down. Now your Gladiator Beasts can play Falling Down too. Equip spell. Equip only to a Gladiator Beast monster. If the equipped monster would be destroyed, destroy this card instead. When this card is sent to the graveyard because the equipped monster you control was just shuffled into the deck, return this card to the hand. Not bad. I think we got another Gladiator Beast equip spell that did something similar, but this one just tanks a hit. If it would be destroyed by battle, or if it would be destroyed by card effect, so makes your monster just a little bit tanky. It's the Holy Mantle effect. It's actually more similar to what Union monsters try to do, now that I think of it. I think we're going to put it there. Another Gladiator Beast card. We get Gladiator Proving Ground. So not Gladiator's Proving Ground or Gladiator Beast Proving Ground. Gladiator Proving Ground. Not confusing. Normal spell. Add 1 level 4 or lower Gladiator Beast monster from your deck to your hand. Just fantastic effect. Where did we put Darius? goes right next to Darius. Just adds consistency to your deck. The funniest part to me, though, is that Gladiator Proving Ground wasn't run a lot of the time. Like, they would run one copy of it, but they wouldn't max out on it. Yeah, they literally get a Rhoda in Archetype. Technically, it's better than Manica, but you still want to run both for the Archfiend shield. That's fair. Man, Gladiator Beasts get such a good search card. And they don't really need it, but it's always appreciated. Next up, Dark World Grimoire. Continuous spell. During your end phase, if you discard a monster's to the graveyard because you had more cards than your hand size limit, you can target one of those monsters, special summon that target. I don't understand when this card is useful, because it doesn't really work with Dark World monsters. Or I guess it doesn't work with the way that we play Dark World monsters, is a better way of saying it. You want to discard your Dark World monsters by card effects so that they can trigger their own effects, right? This is a situation where you activate this and then you still need 7 cards in hand to properly get it. You're in a situation where you have so much card advantage, and then your benefit is that you get to special summon a monster during your end phase? A Battle City card. I don't get it. Just doesn't do anything for the Dark World archetype is what bugs me about it. Next up, Rainbow Path. Normal trap. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, send one Crystal Beast card from your spell and trap zone to the graveyard, then target the attacking monster, negate the attack, then you can add one Rainbow Dragon or Rainbow Dark Dragon from your deck to your hand. So this is one time negate an attack. It costed you a resource, but not a particularly difficult resource to get. And then you can get a Rainbow Dragon or a Rainbow Dark Dragon from your deck to your hand, which is okay. I believe all the advanced Crystal Beasts are dark, so it makes sense to get the Rainbow Dark Dragon. I don't think you even play this in Archetype. We get Fusion Conscription, which just searches the Rainbow Dragon and the Rainbow Dark Dragon faster and for less effort. I guess this negates one attack, but not particularly good. Dark World Grimoire implies that you can end your turn with more than one card in hand in Dark World. Very silly. You might as well run the other 6 attack negates. Oh. For Rainbow Path? Yeah, there's a ton of them. I just think it's not particularly useful. I like that it's, negating an attack gained a little bit of a benefit. I just don't think the benefit's particularly good. Next up, Rainbow Life. Discard 1 card until the end of this turn. Each time you would take damage, so very specific wording, gain that amount of life points instead. So there are certain cards that have to consider Rainbow Life in their card text. Lucky Punch is one of the ones I think of. It doesn't say take 6,000 damage. It says you lose 6,000 life points. I think it's because Rainbow Life is in the game. But this card was played, and it's mostly a side deck card. Right now, there are times where you can use the effect of Rainbow Life. Some of your decks do a lot of self-inflicted damage, and this helps. You can heal off of it instead. Okay. Rainbow Life, one of the cards never used in good faith. I can agree with that. There's a lot of super gimmicky combos that you can do with Rainbow Life and just gain a ton of life points. Next up, we have Sinister Seeds, which is another card I thought was in Crossroads of Chaos, but no. Normal Trap. When a monster you control is destroyed by a battle in which you took damage, and it was in face-up attack position at the start of the damage step, and when it was destroyed. Special summon 1 Sinister Seed token, plant type, dark, level 1, 100 attack, 100 defense, for every 500 points of battle damage you took from that battle. You can swarm with Sinister tokens. The more damage you take, the more tokens you get. I don't think this card is useful in Plant Synchro, just because you have to take damage, and you had to be in attack position. I think you're running Scapegoat over this card most of the time. Scapegoat asks less questions. Can also be activated during your opponent's turn. From Henrique. When I was younger, I thought Rainbow Life was a good card. I don't think it's a bad card. It's seen a lot of success. Like, this just stops FTK, or it stops OTKs sometimes. It'd be hard to activate this card, during your opponent's first turn without Makura the Destructor, which got errata. I guess you could activate it with the Butler if you wanted to. But there's probably better ways to interrupt your opponent's combo. Anyway. It's all success, which is interesting. I think you're just worse than Scapegoat most of the time. Next up, Hate Buster. Important lore card. We got a Dark Ruler Hades, and we got what is the name of the Abyss one? I believe it's King of the Abyss. Normal Trap. When a Fiend-type monster you control is targeted for an attack, target the opponent's attacking monster and that monster you control. Destroy both targets, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the original attack of the opponent's destroyed monster. Let's see. So you're going -1 to deal asymmetric damage equal to the opponent's attack. You're losing your monster. They lose their monster as well. Is this card better than Magic Cylinder? I don't think this card is better than Magic Cylinder. And it destroys. I think this card is just worse than Magic Cylinder. Man, I sure do hate that Buster from Lamron Jr. I think the card is just bad. Bad Magic Cylinder. I'm trying to think of a time when it's better. I know Ring of Destruction gets banned. I like cards that burn both players equal to their monster's attack. Like Ring of Destruction? Next up, Chain Material. Arguably, this is the problem card. Arguably, it's Electrum. Arguably, it's Fusion Gate. I don't know where to point the finger, but those three together are a problem. What does Chain Material do? Normal Trap. Anytime you fusion summon a monster this turn, you can remove from play, from your side of the field, deck, hand, or graveyard, fusion material monsters that are listed on the fusion monster card, and use them as fusion material monsters. That sounds a little bit too wordy. You cannot attack during the turn this card is activated. If you use this effect for a fusion summon, the summoned fusion monster is destroyed during the end phase. A lot of comments on Hate Buster. Cylinder, but instead of everyone lives, everyone dies. Also, my beautiful Gladiator Beast boys appearing is worth considering today is the reason I got a ban each day. I'm so glad, Lamron. Hot topic. Pre-errata Ring of Destruction would be fine nowadays. I can agree with that. Chain Material is a design mistake. Okay, we'll point it at Chain Material. Because I think on their own, Fusion Gate and even Electrum aren't the problem. Oh, let's put chain material on screen. I think it is the problem. I wonder if Cyber Oroboros and chain material go together, because that banishes it. And then you could just cycle through your deck a whole bunch of times. Oh, there's probably an Exodia FTK that uses chain material, and you'd have to use like Temple of Kings to activate it, but you get what I mean. And Fusion Gate and Electrum. Yeah, I think chain material's the problem. Next up, Alchemy Cycle, Normal Trap. The original attack of all face-up monsters you control becomes 0. Until the end phase, each time a monster that had its original attack reduced to 0 by this effect is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, draw 1 card. I think it's just too hard to use. Ideally, you activate this, you reduce your attack to 0, you're already in defense position, your opponent keeps ramming into your monsters, and you draw a couple cards off of it. But it's telegraphed. I guess sometimes this card is better than Jar of Greed, and sometimes it's better than Reckless Greed. It's just hard to use, though. I think you're better off running like Defense Draw when it comes out. I'll put it in filler. Next up, we got Cybernetic Hidden Technology. Oh, wait a second. Is this lore? So you get Cyber Dragon right there, and you get Tyranno Infinity. Is this where Cyber Dinosaur comes from? Is this lore? Also, this looks like a scrap recycling factory to me. I guess they recycled that card design. Continuous Trap. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can send to the graveyard 1 Cyber Dragon you control, or 1 fusion monster that you control that lists Cyber Dragon as a fusion material monster. Then target the attacking monster, destroy that target. Man, this card is so bad. We have Sakuretsu Armor, and we have Dimensional Prison in the game at this point. But instead of that, you want to get rid of your own Cyber Dragons to pop their monsters when they're attacking. Card's just so bad. It's so restrictive, too. Chain material is usable in several FTKs. Very design mistake. Yeah, I agree. Well, an Obelisk Blue Duelist is using Alchemy Cycle, so clearly the card is good. I think the Storms mean nothing. I think, and maybe this is a hot take, I think that Slifer the Sky Dragon's the best Egyptian god card. Tyranno Infinity appearance? Yeah. Lore, maybe. Next up, Dark Spirit Art Greed. I don't think that this should be with the other spiritual arts. Like, this card is really bad. I wish it didn't exist so that we could get a better Dark Spirit art. It also doesn't quite read the same. I think it's like spiritual art and then a Japanese word and then water. And this one doesn't read the same. I think there's still room for another one, is what I'm saying. Look, Jar Greed appearance in the background. Anyway, Normal Trap, tribute 1 dark monster, draw 2 cards. Your opponent can negate this effect by revealing 1 spell card in their hand, which is like no cost at all. So you go -2, and then your opponent can give you a little bit of information, maybe it's valuable information, and you get nothing. I don't understand why this card has such a big downside. Arguably, tribute a dark monster, draw 2 cards would be pretty good. even as a trap. But why do they get to negate it for free? It's not like Magic Drain, where they can discard a spell card to negate the activation of it. At least Magic Drain goes 1-for-1 in terms of card economy. And, gives them a difficult decision. Do they take the loss of the spell in hand and keep the spell on field? It's an actual decision. Yeah, not even discard, just revealing. Oh man, the card is so bad. We need a better dark art. Next up, I mentioned this card earlier, Dark Illusion, Counter Trap. When a spell/trap card or monster effect is activated that targets a dark monster on the field, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that target. You played this in your dark decks. Gives them protection. It's just protection from targeting, but it is also 1-for-1 negation and removal, which is a good combination. Very efficient. But it is only targeting, but a lot of your better effects at the time do target, like Dimensional Prison, for instance, that targets. Next up, Escape from the Dark Dimension, Continuous Trap. Target one of your banished dark monsters, special summon that target. When this card leaves the field, destroy that target, and if you do, banish it. When that target is destroyed, destroy this card. The guy in the artwork for Dark Illusion looks sick. Too bad he's not a real monster. Yeah. It is good artwork. Why not put Dark Illusion on the cover for the pack? I think that'd be cool too. Just in terms of artwork. Hey, is that DD Survivor? Indeed it is DD Survivor. Which usually DD Survivor will come back anyway when it's banished. If it's banished from the field at least, it'll come back on its own. But hey, maybe it's for a different application. The only reason why Escape from the Dark Dimension saw play was DAD return decks were teching it in. And you gotta remember, Different Dimension Reincarnation comes out in a few sets. So that's the only reason why I can think that the card actually saw play. So, It's a product of its time, but I don't blame them. It's not like Reflect Bounder where I'm scratching my head trying to figure out why they played the card. Next up, new trap hole. Gemini trap hole. Normal trap. Activate only when a Gemini monster that is treated as an effect monster is destroyed by battle. Destroy all monsters your opponent controls. What? Why? This isn't what trap holes do. Like all the other ones, not all the other ones, Acid Trap Hole, for instance, looks at set monsters, but most of the other Trap Hole cards are in response to a monster being summoned. This one is in response to your Gemini monster being destroyed by battle. And then it gives you a Raigeki. Was Gemini Mirror Force taken? Yeah. It's a lot closer to Gemini Mirror Force. Like, could you imagine getting this with your Trap Tricks cards? In your Gemini Trap Tricks hybrid deck? I don't know. Maybe there's an application. Card's just so narrow, though. It is a trap hole normal trap, though, for what that's worth. Next up, Drastic Drop-Off. We had Drop-Off in a previous set. This is Drastic Drop-Off. Counter Trap. When your opponent adds a cards from their deck to their hand, including drawing, which is a little spooky, they must discard one of those cards. So this is 1-for-1 hand disruption, except you don't get a choice of what it is. You played this card in decks that benefit from running trap cards, So specifically, you ran this in Counter Fairies, and it's pretty annoying in Counter Fairies, where they deny your draw, and they got Bountiful Artemis on the field, because of course they do. So they activate Drastic Drop-Off, go 1 for 1, and then go +1 off of the Bountiful Artemis. Now we have hand traps that are significantly better, like Ash Blossom, Droll, and Lockbird come to mind. So I don't think Drastic Drop-Off is necessary. I don't think the card is good for the game, but I do think that it was pretty good for the time, if that makes sense. But man, the lore on this card is great too. Look, it's a gadget monster. You know what gadgets do? They add cards from deck to hand. I think that's cool. Which one searches green? I want to say that red searches green or yellow searches green. I don't know. Also gadgets, we have all-out attacks. Continuous trap. All monsters that are special summoned are changed to face-up attack position and must attack if able. During the turn, they are special summoned. The problem with all-out attacks is it flips monsters face-up, so it triggers flip effects. So if you get cards like Morphing Jar number 2, it can loop into itself over and over again, which is a problem because it mills a whole bunch of cards out of your opponent's deck. I sort of wish all-out attacks got a rework, because I think flipping your monsters face up to give flip effects a little bit more agency is not a bad idea, but this is not how you do it. I can see it being a minor design mistake, in the same way that Final Attack Orders is a design mistake. I think the problem might just be Morphing Jar number 2 in that circumstance, though. So I can't think of another situation where the card gets a little bit broken. Does wonders for flip effects, though. Possibly. Maybe with Spear Cretin? I think Spear Cretin can loop into itself. I don't know. Next up, Double Tag Team. Normal trap. Activate only when you special summon a Gladiator Beast monster. Special summon 1 level 4 or lower Gladiator Beast monster from your hand or deck. Double Tag Team doesn't treat it as if it were special summoned by another Gladiator Beast monster. So this is specifically setting up for your fusion plays. I think that's it. At least at the time. I believe you did play Double Tag Team, because it's not a bad effect. Use it in your main phase too. But I think the card's way too slow nowadays. I don't know. Maybe Lamron can chip in on that one. Next up, I believe this card was in an earlier set for some reason. When we were talking about Venom Naga, for instance. We get Offering to the Snake Deity. Normal trap. Target 1 face-up reptile monster you control and 2 cards your opponent controls. Destroy all 3 targets. So, this card is sort of like Icarus Attack, except it functions differently. Icarus Attack tributes your monster and then pops the 2 cards. This card targets all 3 cards, pops your monster, and then the other 2 cards that you targeted with it. In my opinion, this makes Offering to the Snake Deity better than Icarus Attack. I believe you could be pretty, on the fence of whether or not that distinction is worth it. And for the record, this also does destroy your monster. So if you have a destruction trigger, like, Venonominum, King of Poisonous Snakes, then you can trigger it. I really think that reptiles get a bad rap, that they actually have some pretty decent cards. But when did you play this? When were reptiles like a dominant force in the metagame where you'd actually play this? I don't know. Worth running today? Interesting. It's just so slow is my thing. If it were faster, if offering to the snake deity were a little bit faster and not on a trap, if this was a quick play spell card like Gemini Spark, yeah, I'd see it worth running today. Next up, Cry Havoc. Continuous Trap. You can remove from play one monster from your graveyard to normal summon or set one normal monster from your hand. You can only activate this effect during your main phase. I'm wondering why Warrior with 7 tools is in the artwork for this card. That guy's not a normal monster. I guess he's one of the ones that's being banished. Cry Havoc has a silly application with like a fairy cheer girl, I think, where you can end up drawing a whole bunch of cards and just normal summoning over and over again. I don't know. Card's not Ultimate Offering. Are normal monsters good yet? No. Not yet. Oh yeah. Dark Blade and his Pitch Dark Dragon is also on the way in the artwork for Cry Havoc. Let me zoom in. He is way back there. Okay. Next up, Transmigration Break. So we had a Degenerate Circuit in a previous set. And I said that was like a super narrow floodgate, and we get another one with this card. Continuous Trap. Any cards that would be returned to the deck from the graveyard are removed from play instead. I'm trying to think if this is ever useful. I guess you could say against Pot of Avarice. Maybe. I don't know when this card is ever useful. We get another chapter in the Goblin of Greed epic too, with Fine. Just one word, Fine. Discard 2 cards. Normal trap. That's the whole effect. Note this is discard by effect, so it could trigger your Dark Worlds if you wanted to. Best part about the card is obviously their artwork, though. I'm pretty sure this is the reason the Goblin of Greed ended up taking up that job in the Dark Factory of Mass Production, is to pay off his fine. You know, after he stole the Pot of Greed and Jar Robber. Is the card fine? Okay, even. I don't think it's okay. We got the Cheerful Coffin. The Cheerful Coffin discards multiple monsters from your hand simultaneously, which is great, but for no effect. That's your Dark World enabler. That's not, you know, degenerate like Drag Down. Drag Down's pretty bad for the game, but, you know, the Cheerful Coffin, still a -1. Fine is a -1/2, but it's on a trap, a lot slower. I don't know. Even in Dark World, though, I don't think you're running this. I think you run Dark Deal. Dark Deal is, you know, catches your opponent off guard, prevents them from using their spell cards correctly. I'll just like Dark Deal. Dark Deal. Yeah, Dark Deal's so much better. Maybe it's just me. Poor Goblin, man. Man, I can't wait to look at Goblin of Greed the same way after his pathetic aesthetic video. I can't read. Malachite. Man, I can't look at Goblin of Greed the same way after his pathetic aesthetic episode. Poor guy. New Dark Lord just dropped. Dark Lord Zerato. Dark Attribute, level 8. Fairy, effect. If you have 4 or more dark monsters with different names in your graveyard, you can tribute some of this card by tributing 1 dark monster. Not bad. You can send 1 dark monster from your hand to the graveyard. Destroy all monsters your opponent controls. Also not bad. Once per turn during the end phase, if this effect was activated this turn, destroy this card. Oh, that's pretty bad. I like how it says once per turn during the end phase, so if you can resist destruction 1 time by some effect, I guess you get to keep your Dark Lord Zerato. This downside, though, isn't really a downside when you're just going to use this guy for extra deck material nowadays. Cards all play. Wipe your opponent's board. It's all play in the same, proto-dark decks as Dark Nifs and Dark Creator. Zerato is good for Phantom of Chaos. Ooh, that is a good combo. I like that. Another good target for Phantom of Chaos. I guess we could put him in acceptable in Archetype 2, but I think it's too slow for actual Dark World decks, or Dark Lord decks. Don't put him in Dark Worlds. He doesn't fit in there. Next up, we have Darnite Parshaf, because they couldn't afford another K. I think it should read Dark Knight Parshaf. Dark Attribute, level 5, Fairy, effect. If this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can banish 1 dark monster from your graveyard, draw 1 card. This card gains 100 attack for each dark monster in your graveyard. 1900 attack, 1400 defense. I don't understand why this card exists on multiple levels. For one thing, we have Air Knight Parshaf, right? 1900 attack, draws a card, piercing battle damage. Excellent. This card doesn't pierce. Requires you to banish a dark monster from your graveyard to draw the cards. Has to destroy a monster by battle. And gains a paltry amount of attack for dark monsters specifically in your graveyard. It's sort of like they took Shadow Ghoul and Air Knight Parshaf and some water and watered down the effect. I don't understand. Was Air Knight Parshaf too good? The other thing that I don't understand is that this is a dark counterpart for Air Knight Parshaf, but Air Knight Parshaf already has a dark analog in Nephtys the Infernal General, which instead of drawing cards, was ripping cards out of your opponent's hand, still did the piercing battle damage, slightly lower attack points. So, I don't like this card, and I think it's pretty mediocre. Darnite sounds like a gemstone law. Maybe that's what the thing in his sword is. Ah, yes. I don't know. It's like he doesn't even have a hand. He's weird looking. Next up, Deep Sea Macro Trima. Water attribute, level 1, fish, effect. When this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, all face-up water monsters you control gain 500 attack until the end of this turn. It's a win effect, can miss the timing. I don't know when this is useful. Sort of reminds me of like Winged Minion, Winged Fiend. The little guy that tributes himself and gives you a little bit of attack. It's free. You can get this effect off for free, which is okay. It's free attack points. I don't know. I think the effect is just bad. Most Parshafts actually have a sword for a hand. That's true. Or a few of them at least. I hadn't thought about it that way. So we had Veil of Darkness either last set or 2 sets ago. And now we have the Allure of Darkness. Veil of Darkness was purple and had great artwork. Allure of Darkness has even better artwork. I don't want to rank it quite yet. Let's read what the card actually does. Normal spell, draw 2 cards, then banish 1 dark monster from your hand, or, if you do not have any in your hand, send your entire hand to the graveyard. Allure of Darkness is crazy draw power. It is net neutral in terms of card advantage. There are ways that you can go +1 with it if you want to. Or I guess Cyber Oroboros can be used with Allure of Darkness, for instance. But if you have DD Scout Plane, for instance, you can bring it back during the end phase, go +1 with Allure of Darkness. This is acceleration. It's getting bricks out of your hand. It's filling up your banish zone. It is a really strong effect. And the best part about the card is the flavor win. That you can activate Allure of Darkness when you don't have a dark monster in hand. So you can blind Allure of Darkness, succumbing to the temptation in the hope that you will be rewarded for it, but not necessarily. It's a huge risk if you do not have a target that you intend to banish with it. But man, the flavor, the temptation, the greed, it feels so good. Gotta run. Great stream as always. Good night, Milo. While I don't have a dark in hand right now, I could always draw into another one, said the guy who hand ripped himself. Yeah. I think it's worth considering today. Same reason beginning of the end is draw power. Draw power is win power. Also wanted to say thank you for doing these. Inspired me to start my own stream for the new Genesis format the other day. Thanks for what you do, and see you next week for the end of GX. Oh yeah. Thank you, Milo. I'm going to have to check out your stream. Love Allure of Darkness. Fantastic card. Feels good. And it saw play in like the weirdest places too. This card was in Mermails. So what you were doing in Mermails is you had Gen X Undyne, and Undyne would specifically add Controller, and Controller is a dark monster, so you could run Allure of Darkness in your Mermail deck for that totally intended synergy. Turn your bricks into more draw power, man. Next up, Metabo Globster. Very weird card on multiple levels. Sort of looks like an alien card or a cryptid to me. Dark Attribute, level 3, Fiend effect. When you tribute this card for the tribute summon of a dark monster, special summon 3 Metabo tokens. Fiend type, Dark, level 1, attack 0, defense 0, and defense position. These tokens cannot be tributed for a tribute summon. 800 attack, 300 defense. This card reads really well. I just don't know how you get it on the field to do this. But you go, you get tokens, and you can link summon with those tokens. You can synchro summon with those tokens. They're level 1 too. There's a lot of things that you could do with level 1 tokens. But you got a tribute summon for a dark monster, which isn't hard. There's a lot of good dark monsters that you can use with this. Oh man. It's almost good, it just doesn't have any initiative on its own. If you could banish a monster from grave and special summon this card from hand and then get your ball rolling in your Monarch deck, and your Dark Monarch deck specifically, I could see it being useful. It's sort of like a Skull Knight number 2, where yes, it's good effect, but maybe a little bit too awkward to actually use with the tribute summon. Maybe it's just me. It reads really well, though. 3 tokens. I love tokens. I'm so glad that this isn't another one of those cards that gives your opponent the tokens. At least it has a little potential, in my opinion. Artwork's good too. Like, it's got 1 in the foreground and then 2 in the background referencing the 3 tokens. That's nice. Guy's really ugly, though. Like a furry bug. Like, if you zoom real close on a bumblebee and they got that hair on them. Reminds me of this guy. Next up, I haven't checked recently, but for a long time, Golden Flying Fish was the only light attribute fish type monster in the entire game. I think that's changed, though. I think he's no longer the loneliest card. But he's light attribute, level 4, fish, effect. You contribute 1 other fish type monster, then target 1 card on the field, destroy that target. 1700 attack, 1000 defense. Sort of glad this guy isn't water, because then you could use it with Fishborgs, and that'd be a little nutty. The effect's good. It's just a little awkward. But the effect's good. Reminds me of the Whale Fortress card, where you had to tribute specific cards. You had the Cannonball, Spear, Shellfish, and Fish Torpedo. So it's an improvement over that. Okay, yeah. Just check, the second ever light fish was Zapper Shrimp, the level 2 synchro. Thank you, Malachite. So he's no longer lonely, he has a friend. I'm so glad. Next up, we got Prime Material Dragon. Light attribute, level 6. Dragon effect. Any effect that would inflict damage to a player's... Any effect that would inflict damage to a player increases their life points by the same amount instead. During either player's turn, when a card or effect is activated that would destroy a monsters on the field, you can send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard. Negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. 2400 attack, 2000 defense. This card saw a lot of meta success. You would just tech it into things. It gives you a lot of protection. You are trading cards in hand for that level of protection, but man. If this guy had less attack, he'd be a real monarch, but he's not bad as he is. I desperately want to know this dragon's lore. Why is he so weird and cool? I'm pretty sure prime material is the matter that existed before elements. Like, it's related to alchemy and quintessence, if that helps. He also has 6 wings, like a seraphim. Next up, Lone Fireball, I'm having a strong. Lone Fire Blossom. Fire attribute, level 3, plant effect. Once per turn, you contribute 1 face-up plant monster. Special summon 1 plant monster from your deck. 500 attack, 1400 defense. Oh boy, the things that you can do with this card. Also, Blazewing Butterfly is just in the background of this card's artwork for some reason. Like, that's not a plant. Why are you there? You couldn't put Gigaplant in there? Don't worry about it. Lone Fire is a fantastic tutor. The fact that you contribute other plants, I don't think comes up much of the time. Most of the time, it's just summon Lone Fire, and then sometimes Lone Fire, Lone Fire, Lone Fire. Fill your graveyard with some monsters. Great fodder for revival later. It's a soft once per turn, so you can use it a lot. You can special summon this card directly from the deck if you can make Horse Prince, the Fire Fist Horse Prince, but then that locks you out of level 5 or higher monsters for the rest of the turn, which is probably okay. This is an extremely flexible tutor and a fantastic monster. I say it's worth considering today. Probably move these around a little bit. Probably put you here. Card's really good. What a terrible, wonderful idea this card was. Oh, yeah. Lone Fire's great. Might be a reference to, like, what is it, club moss spores? Maybe. Next up, we got the little brother of Doomdozer. We got Aztecapede, the warm warrior. That is so hard to say. Aztecapede, the worm warrior. Earth attribute, level 4, insect effect, cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned by banishing one insect type monster from your graveyard, and cannot be special summoned by other ways. If this card inflicts battle damage to the opponent, send the top card of their deck to the graveyard. 1900 attack, 400 defense. You could use this as a combo extender, I think is the only practical benefit. I believe you played this in Inzectors specifically, but other than that, I don't think it had any application. Card's not bad, though. I do like inherent special summoning effects. Next up, we got Vampire Curse. Dark attribute, level 6, zombie effect. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you could pay 500 life points, special summon it during the standby phase of the next turn. If you do, it gains 500 attack points. 2000 attack, 800 defense. I think the effect is okay. It's sort of like Revival Jam now that I think about it, but I guess this guy gets a little bit stronger. Do you benefit from Vampire's Curse and Vampires? I wish if it were just destroyed by in general, then the card would be significantly better, but the fact that it has to rely on destruction by battle, I think, is the weak point. Is that Roanoa Zorro? Man. An undead Roanoa Zorro. Marimo Head. I think the card's just bad. Too hard to get out. Not enough payoff. Next up, I keep thinking that this card is a Jack Atlas card. I think because he's got the different piece golems and it sort of reminds me of that. Castle Gate. Earth attribute, level 6, rock effect. This card cannot be destroyed by battle. Once per turn, if this card is in face-up attack position, you contribute one level 5 or lower monster to inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's original attack. 0 attack, 2400 defense. Let's break it down. Can't be destroyed by battle. Have to keep it in attack position. Tribute monsters, can't tribute itself. Even if it could, it does original attack damage, so that's not useful. This card does super marginal damage. But I guess the lore or the in-game explanation is you're opening up the castle gate and then throwing stuff at your opponent? I don't know. Why is this card in the same set as Cannon Soldier Mark II and Shadow Priestess of Ohm, and this is the card that gets the once per turn clause? I think the card is thankfully very bad. Next up, I do want to point out that Dark Eyes Illusionist took forever to come to the TCG, that this is one of the first effect monsters that was printed in the OCG and just took a really long time to get here. Dark Attribute, level 2, Spellcaster effect, flip. Target one monster in the field. It cannot attack while this card is face up on the field. 0 attack, 1400 defense. Theoretically, this is useful in your Apprentice Magician engine, where you get another option where you could just lock down your opponent while you got this guy face up on the field, because, you know, it could be special summoned directly from the deck in face down defense position. Lock down your opponent. I don't think it's good, though. But keep in mind, if your point of comparison is like the Wicked Worm Beast, this is not a bad effect. Seems like it might have been good in the beginning of Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah. It just came to the TCG way too late. I think this card actually predates Relinquished too, which is interesting. Next up, Legendary Fiend. He's legendary, he must be good. Dark Attribute, level 6, Fiend, effect. During each of your standby phases, this card gains 700 attack, 1500 attack, 800 defense. I guess the idea is you could bring this guy out with Tomato, and then during the start of your next turn, he has 2200 attack, which is okay, I guess. But if he survives another round, 2900 attack. I just don't think he gains enough attack fast enough. The Snowball, man, it just doesn't start rolling, or it doesn't start out very big when it starts rolling downhill. And it's not a very big hill to roll down. I think the card's just bad. New trap monster. We got Metal Reflect Slime. Continuous trap. Special summon this card in defense position as an effect monster. Aqua, water, level 10, 0 attack, 3000 defense. This card is also still a trap. If summoned this way, this card cannot attack. I think the rationale behind this is, what if you had Sword and Shield, for instance, and then you get a big 3000 attack monster that didn't take up a normal summon? This is a big defensive wall. It is a trap monster. I think the best application is going into a rank 10 with this guy, which is definitely something. Card's interesting. I like that. I just don't think it's particularly good. I also think it's funny. Go to attack with my 0 attack points. Oh yeah, gimmick boy time. Meta at 1 point or gimmick? Genuinely used to think that this was one of the best cards in the game, and I don't even know about Egyptian God Slime. And I didn't even know about the Egyptian God Slime, yeah. This card gets an upgrade later. I think we'll put it in gimmick. It's pretty fair. Next up, we got Zoma the Spirit. We got, what is it? Cybergardna, I believe. Sort of looks like Zoma the Spirit. Continuous trap. Special summon this card in defense position as an effect monster. Zombie, dark, level 4, 1800 attack, 500 defense. This card is also still a trap. If this card summoned this way is destroyed by battle, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the attack of the monster that destroyed it. I think this is also bad Magic Cylinder. Which, where did we put Hate Buster? I think we put it next to Hate Buster. Is 1800 attack, but it comes out in defense position. Is this better or worse than Embodiment of a Apophis? Which I know just got new support, so don't worry about that. Just in general, I don't think so. I think you'd prefer to have Embodiment of a Apophis. Didn't this weirdo get to use in trains or something like that? Yeah. Can confirm I used Metal Reflex Slime in trains? Okay. The problem is I don't think trains were ever highly ranked in the meta is the thing. Oh, I'm working on getting better empirical records. We'll get there when we get there. Next up, we have Call of the Earthbound, but the Earthbound Immortals aren't here yet. I guess this is some subtle foreshadowing. I think we get Tuning next set as some more subtle foreshadowing. Normal Trap. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you choose the target of the attack. It's sort of like, what is it, Taunt? Or Shift? Or Partition of Darkness? Patrician of Darkness? Partition of Darkness. Patrician of Darkness. I think it's just way too late in the game for this effect to be useful. We also have some other options too. We've got like Ring of Magnetism that sort of does this effect too. But the lore, the artwork, looks cool. Trains were meta in my heart. Aww. Next up, we got Dark Red Enchanter. The lore! Yeah, the lore of the Earthbound Immortals, I believe. Dark Red Enchanter. Dark Attribute, level 6, Spellcaster, effect. If this card is normal summon, place 2 spell counters on it. Each time a spell card is activated, place 1 spell counter on this card. When that spell resolves, gains 300 attack for each spell counter on it. Once per turn, you could remove 2 spell counters from this card. Discard 1 random card from your opponent's hand. Thankfully, it's a once per turn. I don't like hand rip effects. I think this card is similar to Arcanite Magician, except I like Arcanite Magician so much better than this card. I'm glad it's not better than it is. I'm glad it's once per turn. And I'm glad this card wasn't ever particularly useful. I just really dislike hand rip effects. I think it's filler, but not good for the game. Wasn't Shadal Trains actually meta for a bit? I think we need to figure out what we define as meta. For me, top 8 major tournaments is what I consider meta. But if you want to drop down to lower ranks of major tournaments or lower or smaller tournaments like regionals and open invitationals, then you get a lot more variety. I think it's where you define that cutoff is the problem. Next up, we got Goblin Zombie with super goofy artwork on the actual Yu-Gi-Oh website. Dark Attribute, level 4, Zombie, effect. If this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, send the top card of their deck to the graveyard. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, add 1 zombie monster with 1200 or less defense from your deck to your hand. 1100 attack, 1050 defense. It can search itself. That's cool. It's an if condition. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, which is fantastic because it means that Synchros or Tribute this or Link Material will trigger Goblin Zombie's effect, and then you just get to add another card from your deck to your hand. I'm wondering if this card is worth considering today. And the answer is maybe. There's no doubt that this card was meta for quite a long time. The question is it worth considering today? Just because it floats, but it doesn't float into something that necessarily special summons itself. It replaces itself, which is good, but it doesn't have a lot of initiative when it does. It doesn't give you board presence is the problem. Next up, Belial, Marquis of Darkness. Dark attribute, level 8, Fiend effect. Your opponent cannot target any face-up monster you control except Belial, Marquis of Darkness, for an attack or with spell/trap effects. 2800 attack, 2400 defense. Just a big lightning rod. Hit me first. I think we put him there. I want to say that he did see some play in the, dark everything decks, but I'm not sure. Moving on to our Shonen Jump Championship card, we have Doom Caliber Knight. Again, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Official website has slightly different artwork. I like the one from the website more personally. Dark attribute, level 4, Fiend effect. Cannot be special summoned, thankfully. If a monster effect is activated, quick effect. Tribute this face-up card, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that monster. 1900 attack, 1800 defense. Really incredible stats for this effect. I want to point out a couple things. One, this is mandatory. So if a monster effect is activated, it includes your monster effects. This guy will tribute himself, negate the activation, and destroy that monster. 2, if you have Doom Caliber Knight on the field, do not summon a second Doom Caliber Knight, because your opponent activates a monster effect. Doom Caliber Knight will trigger, which triggers the other Doom Caliber Knight, which tributes itself to negate the other activation, and then your opponent gets the effect for free. So you've gone -2 and negated your negation because you got greedy and you tried to double up on it. Really cool anti-meta card. I'm glad it can't be special summoned. Card was great for a long time, but I wouldn't use it today. Ironically, because it can't be special summoned, it's just too hard to get out. Is that the wicked breaking... I'm going to try to say it correctly. Is that the wicked breaking Flamberge bow? I believe it is. Which makes a lot of sense thematically. Moving on to our premium pack. No, not our premium pack. Our duelist pack collectible 10 promo cards. We get Card Ejector. Earth attribute, level 3, spellcaster. Once per turn, you can target one card on your opponent's graveyard. Banish that target. 400 attack, 400 defense. I honestly think this card is worse than Witch Doctor of Chaos, because you can't get this one out with the Apprentice Magician. I don't think this effect is useful at all. I think this card is bad. This card's so much worse than Kaiko, too. It looks like Miracle Flipper's sister. I believe they are related. So it reminds me of Dark Magician Girl, too. It's got the Dark Magician looking hat. They're all related. And I don't know why Jaden got this card and Spell Striker. Jaden gets weird cards for some reason. I think it's more references to the original anime in his deck. He got a lot of interesting counterparts. Like, the other day I realized that Elemental Hero Neo's alias is sort of like Jaden's version of Skilled Dark Magician. Instead of activating spells, accumulating spell counters, it's a Gemini monster, so pretty interesting to me. Next up, we got Mutant Mindmaster. This card came out slightly ahead of where it should have, in my opinion, because this is easily identified as a psychic monster. Same thing as like Jinzo Negan Psycho Shaka and Cyber Esper. Like, this is begging to be a psychic monster, but just me. Dark Attribute, level 6, Spellcaster, effect. When this card declares an attack, you can take control of one face-up attack position monster your opponent controls and attack with it instead of this monster. It cannot attack your opponent directly. Return it to your opponent at the end of the battle phase. 0 attack, 2500 defense. I think this card's pretty useless. Because you take their monster, you attack in with it, and then you're defenseless. So, I think the card's very bad. Flavorful, but bad. Lamron. I always imagined that there was like an Endymion style school that was taught by dual monsters. DM and Endymion. Oh, Dark Magician. Well, that was taught by Dark Magician. Dark Magician and Endymion had beef for sure. Maybe they're rivals. Next up, Hannibal Necromancer. Fantastic artwork. Interesting card, I'll put it that way. Dark Attribute, level 4, Spellcaster, effect. If this card is normal summon, place 1 spell counter on it, max 1. You can remove 1 spell counter from this card, and then target 1 face-up trap on the field. Destroy that target. 1400 attack, 1800 defense. This card is just bad Breaker the Magical Warrior. And I know Breaker gets banned at one point, but this card is just bad Breaker the Magical Warrior. I also thought that this dude's back arm was his head. I'm not going to lie, this is the first time today that I've ever noticed that. That he is winding up a big swing and he doesn't have a weird shaped head. Next up, we got Elemental Hero Prisma. Again, weird artwork on the Yu-Gi-Oh website. Light Attribute, level 4, Warrior, effect. Once per turn, you can reveal 1 fusion monster from your extra deck, then send 1 of the fusion materials whose name is mentioned on that card from the deck to the graveyard. This card's name becomes the sent monster's name until the end phase. 1700 attack, 1100 defense. Fantastic card. What's the other art from? It's from the official Yu-Gi-Oh website. Sometimes they just put weird art on their website. Like I know Bubble Blaster has like a dead fish in it for some reason. Is this card worth considering today? Is the question. There are some fun things that you can do with Prisma. Prisma was fantastic in Gladiator Beasts. This card is extremely searchable. It's a warrior and an elemental hero, so you can bring it out with Rhoda and E-Emergency Call and Stratos. It looks like an anime screenshot. Ah. Cool. Where are the Gladiator Beasts? We'll put it with its friends. Oh. We'll put it here. I don't know if it's worth considering today, though. Lamron. God, I loved playing him in Glads. He enabled such fun Darius combos, too. Yeah. He might be a little bit slow right now, though. Not bad, though. I like Prisma's design a lot. I'm so glad it doesn't say Elemental Hero Fusion. It's just a fusion monster in general. If this was limited to E-Heroes, I don't know. It'd be significantly worse. I don't think it would have had any staying power at all. Moving on to the structure deck Dark Emperor, we got Caius the Shadow Monarch. And this card came out way later than I thought it did. Dark Attribute, level 6, Fiend effect. If this card is tribute summoned, target one card on the field, banish that target, and if you do, inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent if it was a dark monster. 2,400 attack, 1,000 defense. I want to point out, this is a mandatory effect. If you summon Caius onto an empty board, Caius banishes Caius, and I guess it burns your opponent for 1,000 damage, and hey, that might be game. I guess tribute summon Caius for game is the ancient version of Gaga Cowboy for game. So it is an interesting option. That is not the primary mode that I would suggest using Caius. Caius is banishing removal. And it's one card. If you really want to, you could get rid of your opponent's continuous spell or trap. And it doesn't have to be a face-up card. So I guess you could hit a face-down card with this too. You could banish your opponent's face-down monster, ignore flip effects. Really strong card. This was the Monarch. Like maybe Ryza. Arguably, Ryza and Caius are at the same level of strength, but they're both really good. Ooh, more comments about Prisma. Prisma was seeing some play in the Gate Guardian deck for a while. Okay. I really think Prisma fits nicely in the category of always good to remember it exists. Yeah, like keeping it in the back pocket sort of thing. I just love how searchable it is. You can just splash it in anything. Caius the Goat. The self-banish tech is so baller. I wouldn't go that far. It is something in your back pocket, though. I like that phrase. Also, lore-wise, you saw the orb that Caius has? Well, Dimensional Alchemist has a similar one. Light Attribute, and I believe Chaos Sorcerer has one too. Light Attribute, level 4, Fairy effect. Once per turn, you can activate this effect to remove from play the top card of your deck and give this card 500 attack until the end phase. When this card is destroyed and sent from your side of the field to the graveyard, you can select one of your remove from play monsters and return it to the hand. 1,300 attack, 200 defense. So this card supplies its own ammo, can give you a little bit of a return on your investment, which is nice. It starts with pretty low attack is the problem. But it does count being destroyed by battle or card effect from either player destroying it, which is also real good. I think we put it here. Seems that weird black orbs that circle inwards are just the sort of thing, are just sort of the banishing things aesthetic, yeah. Dimensional Alchemist looks like a squire, but isn't. I can agree with that. Like, everyone just wanted to be Garlic Jr. being banished back to the dead zone. Garlic Jr. being banished back to the dead zone. What? I don't know what that means. I'd say it's good for the time. Who is Garlic Jr.? Oh, Dragon Ball Z. Okay. Thank you. Okay, over my head. Thank you. Garlic Jr. Why are you naming your kid Garlic? Oop, skip things. Next up, we have Samsara Kaiser, which is sort of like one of the squires or the vassals. Earth Attribute, level 2, Warrior effect. When you tribute summon a monster by tributing this card, return this card to the hand. 200 attack, 100 defense. This feels like it would be perfect in Monarchs, except you only get one normal summon per turn. And that's the problem with Samsara Kaiser. It's also a win effect, so I'm not sure if your Monarchs themselves are going to cause this card to miss the timing. It'd be really silly if they did. Like, because I believe their effects work when they hit the field, so you might miss the timing on Samsara Kaiser. But assuming that doesn't happen, the card's just too slow. It can't special summon itself out like the Vassals can for the Monarchs, which is the big thing that's holding the Monarch, or not the Monarchs back, but you know, you get it. That was holding Monarchs back. He made a giant hole in the sky that looked a lot like this, then got sucked into it. Oh, in reference to the Black Orb. Got it. Samsara Kaiser is such a little goober. Always loved him. He is cute. We're still trying to get that balance point correct about where recurring tribute fodder is. We tried it with Treeborn Frog. We tried it with Samsara Lotus. We tried it with Immortal Bushi. We're trying it. It's hard to thread that needle, I guess. I don't think it can miss timing because it's a mandatory effect. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is really weird. I know that some mandatory effects can still miss timing, which is annoying. There's a lot of rulings. I'll just put it that way. He's good with reinforced truth, I guess. Okay. He is a little goober. I sort of wish he were level 1. Then you could get him out with 1-for-1, and then you could get the ball rolling in your Monarch deck, and that would be better. But alas, he's level 2. This is the proper release of Different Dimension, DDR, Different Dimension Reincarnation of Redundancy. The DDR in the title, of course, references Different Dimension Reincarnation, but more importantly, it references Dance Dance Revolution. I don't understand why. Equip spell, discard 1 card, then target one of your banished monsters, special summon in an attack position, and equip it with this card. When this card leaves the field, destroy the equipped monster. They learned from Premature Burial, which is good. I think low end of worth considering today. Getting back one of your banished monsters, recycling effects. The only sticking point for me, though, is that discard cost is pretty steep. Historically, Different Dimension Reincarnation definitely saw a lot of play. I'm just not sure it's worth it now. When we have Monster Reborn, why do we need Different Dimension Reincarnation? Maybe I'm talking myself out of it. Ooh. Lamron. I also love that his name literally means the Kaiser of the cycle of death and rebirth. That's a cool name. It's obviously better than Dark Dimension, though. Because Konami owns DDR, it's the same deal as them referencing Parodius and Metal Gear. I get that. Why is this the card that they reference it with, though? Maybe it's just me. He's not dancing. That's the problem. There are no arrows moving in the background of this card. They totally missed their opportunity. It could have been a goofy card. I'm not arguing that Different Dimension Reincarnation, this card is beautiful. I love the purple. I love the wavy background. It's fantastic card design. I just don't know why it's the reference to DDR. but that's okay. Moving past it. By order of the Emperor. Continuous trap. When a monster effect is activated, that activates when a monster is normal summoned. So, obviously, this affects your monarchs. You can negate the activation. Then, the player whose effect activation was negated draws 1 card. So you can negate your own monarch effects if you want to. And there's a bunch of other cards that you could technically negate. You can negate Armageddon Knight and draw a card off of it if you wanted to. I think this card is goofy. Do you play this in like gadgets? When do you prefer to draw the card over getting your beneficial effect on summon is the problem for me. I can see the Order of the Emperor working really well with effects that trigger on summon that are detrimental to you. And then you just get the free card. But why are you running those cards in the first place? I think we'll just put it in filler. Okay. We are moving on to our jump promo with Cyber Dinosaur. I'm pretty sure this is what the combination of Cyber Dragon and Tyranno Infinity comes together to make Cyber Dinosaur. Light attribute, level 7, machine effect. When your opponent special summons a monster from their hand, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. 2500 attack, 1900 defense. I think it's okay. It's an okay body. This isn't like Chaos Hunter, where it has a beneficial effect on field, or Stego Cyber for that reference. I thought Cyber Dinosaur was a dinosaur. I was going to say, why isn't this in the dinosaur structure deck? But it's not an actual dinosaur, so at least that makes sense. And this card is a proper cyber card. It's board presence. It's a little bit of tempo. Not going to argue, that's not bad. It's funny that monarchs are scolding you in the art, but clearly the original intention was for them to be the ones getting negated. Can I just say Cyber Dinosaur is such good card art? Yeah. It screams Kazuki Takahashi's style of dinosaur and robots perfectly. He is almost a consistent rank 7 material. I wouldn't be so surprised if Cyber Dinosaur did see some play. He just doesn't do enough. He's not like Gore's the Emissary of Darkness where, you know, big impactful effect. Okay. Next up, Exodios, the ultimate Forbidden Lord. Dark attribute, level 10, spellcaster, effect. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned from your hand by shuffling all monsters in your graveyard into the deck, and cannot be special summoned by other ways. When this card declares an attack, send one monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard. This card gains 1000 attack for each normal monster in your graveyard. If this face-up card would leave the field, banish it instead. If there are 5 different Forbidden One cards in your graveyard that were sent there by this card's effect, you win the duel. Question mark attack, 0 defense. Have I just overlooked this the whole time? When this card declares an attack, send one monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard. 1, it's mandatory, but 2, this card is Foolish Burial. I know you have to attack, but that's a free Foolish Burial. That's really good. That's not even the primary mode of the reason why I like Exodios. Personally, I love that this is just a big level 10 that you can special summon from your hand. Resetting your graveyard into a deck, sometimes beneficial. This card slots into lots of different things. I really like Exodios, which is weird because I really dislike Exodia. Card's goofy too. Oh, look! If you put it right next to the Reflect Metal Slime, you can make a rank 10! I like Exodios. I don't think there's too many practical applications for it, though. But it can be just a combo extender that helps recycle some of your key pieces. True. The other funny thing, this is not recommended, this is probably why it belongs in the gimmick tier, is that you can use Exodios, summon them out, and then activate Zeal Guy, or activate, Advanced Ritual Art, targeting Zeal Gygus, which is a level 10 ritual monster, the Gishki one, and then you can dump 10 level 1 normal monsters from your deck to the graveyard. And then Exodios suddenly has 10,000 attack points, and you still get the big Zeal Gygus too. You can just wham, one-shot your opponent, which is not recommended. There is some crazy synergy with Exodios, yeah. It's such a unique effect. It's such a good effect, and it's free board presence. Are normal monsters good yet? No. But at least they get this card. I don't know. I love Exodios. Just feels good. Okay. Moving on to our Champion Pack promo cards. Champion Pack 6. We got the Rigorous Reaver. Fire Attribute, level 3. Plant. Flip. Effect. Flip. Each player discards 1 card. If this card is destroyed by battle, the monster that destroyed it loses 500 attack and defense. 1600 attack, 100 defense. It really reminds me of Slate Warrior, where you got a decent sized body, but then you also get that flip effect, and you also get a stat reduction. Slate Warrior gives you the same one, I believe. So this one's 1600 attack instead of 1900 attack. But it is also level 3. And it's a plant. I don't think plants really like this effect, though. It's symmetric discard. I don't like that this rips cards out of your opponent's hand. Not a big fan of that. And it doesn't refund you. It's plant, but it's a flip effect, so you can't get it out with Lone Fire Blossoms, so this doesn't tech into your Dark World deck. I don't know where you'd use it. Thankfully, I think the card is just bad. Next up, Call of Darkness. Continuous trap. Send any monster that was special summoned by Monster Reborn to the graveyard. While this card is on the field, Monster Reborn cannot be activated. Similar to Jar Robber, Call of Darkness was totally unplayable for a lot of the history of the game because Monster Reborn was banned. Monster Reborn is back, so technically Call of Darkness can be used. I don't suggest it, though. This is one of those super narrow counter cards that you'd see in the anime like one time. Where, oh no, I know my opponent has Monster Reborn in their deck. I'm going to run this card, and man, it's just not worth it. It does do 2 things, though. It sends to the graveyard, which is good. It doesn't target. Doesn't just target, doesn't destroy. And it's a floodgate. You can just activate it and then prevent your opponent from, or prevent both players from activating Monster Reborn. I don't understand why it's Call of Darkness, though. Anyway, the card's very bad. And finally, we have Sentinel of the Seas, which I already thought was in the game for some reason. I believe that this is fusion material for one of the McDonald's promo fusion monsters. I really thought that this was in the game already. Water attribute, level 4, Aqua. A merman warrior dedicated to defending the ocean against anyone who would defile it. 1300 attack, 1000 defense. If Call of Darkness read, send all monsters summoned from the graveyard, then it would actually be playable? Yeah. Maybe. Jowgen does that. Special Hurricane would do that. Because you use special summon from the graveyard. Good night, Lamron. Finally, my McDonald's fusion can reign supreme. If you want to. Where do we even put this card? I don't think there's a reason that you need a level 4 Aqua Water Monster. Well, we'll just put it here. Okay. Save. PTDN. How did it? There we go. Make sure we download. And save. Okay. That's the list. Pretty decent set, I think. It's got a lot of decent cards on release, which I think is good. A pretty decent amount of cards that are still worth considering today, which I love to see. Definitely impacted the metagame, completely shook up and dominated the metagame, I think is the better way of saying it. A few filler, some bad, some very bad. A few gimmick and acceptable in archetype. Okay. Pretty decent set. Outside of, the 7 design mistakes. That's the stream for tonight. Next week, we are going to be doing the last set in the Duel Monsters era, which is Light of Destruction. Hope to see you then.